Chapter 801. Those people were wrapped in black clothes, only revealing their eyes. Please search to see the most complete. Every one of them had a ruthless look in their eyes, and their bodies exuded a gloomy aura. It seems like the plan this time has failed. The leader had a long scar at the corner of his eye. Although only a little could be seen, it still made people feel ferocious. I didn't expect those people to be able to escape from that place, someone said from behind. Those people are from the Sky Heaven School. I'm afraid we can't stay here any longer. I didn't complete the mission Master gave me. I'm afraid that this time, when I return. Speaking of this, these people exuded a strong sense of fear and anger. Let's go down and take a look first. Since we can't protect this place, we have to at least protect those things. We can only bring them back to other places to raise them. They went to the underground tomb, but after entering, they did not see what they wanted to see. Where's the chi spirit? Everyone was shocked. The leader took out a whistle and blew it twice, but there was still no movement. The chi spirits are gone? Could they have been killed by those people just now? How is that possible? With so many chi spirits, there weren't many thunder spirit masters among them. Being able to come up from below is already a very rare thing. How could he possibly kill all of the chi spirits? Someone immediately retorted. Indeed, there is none left. The leader squeezed the whistle. If it wasn't a spirit weapon, it would have been crushed by him. So many chi spirits, are they really all killed? How is that possible? There's the smell of deviant flame here. Deviant flames. Deviant flames and lightning are the natural enemies of chi spirits. No wonder. When we go back this time, someone's face instantly turned pale, and his entire body froze on the spot. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, a faint sound came from inside. Then, the sound became louder and louder. It was not far from the cave entrance. What's that sound? F***CK. It's a phantom bug. Let's go. The group hurriedly formed a protective layer and flew up. However, one person did not move from his spot. What are you still doing there? Hurry up and leave. Do you want to be killed by the phantom bug? Who would have thought that the man would take off his veil and smile at them, saying, "You may go. I'm not leaving." What are you doing? If we fail this mission, we will definitely be thrown there when we return. Rather than risking his life in that place, he might as well end his life here. Anyway, if you get bitten by the phantom bug, you won't feel any pain when you die. After the man finished speaking, he turned around and ran into the tomb. Let's go. A trace of hesitation flashed in the eyes of the leader, but he still made a decision in an instant and left with the rest of the people. Although it wouldn't be painful to die like this, they were still willing to gamble on the small chance of survival. What do we do now? Are you going back to report? After leaving the swamp, they were all in low spirits. Ruthlessness flashed through the leader's eyes as he said, "If we go back now, we'll die. Let's go to the next place. This time, we have to change the method." When Sima Yue and the rest returned to Jialing City, they first found an inn to stay in. Once they arrived at the inn, Fan Lei called Shui Rong, Su Yuan, Kong Junshul, and Sima Yue over. Originally, he called Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao over, but one of them was busy looking for food while the other was busy bathing, so they didn't have time. "We're already back, but you're still not letting us sleep? Principal, this isn't right." Kong Junshul leaned lazily on Sima Yue. Fan Lei looked at him and shook his head helplessly, but didn't say anything. "What did Principal call us over for?" Sima Yue asked. "Actually, it's nothing much. I just asked you to come over and listen." Fan Lei said, "Shui Rong, although that tomb isn't particularly hard to find, it's not that easy to find it underground. How did you know about this tomb and send people down?" His voice carried a stern, questioning tone, which shocked Shui Rong and Su Yuan. "We heard it from others," Shui Rong said. "Heard it from others? It's such a secretive thing. How did you hear it from others?" De Wei asked. "That day, we were carrying out a mission in the mountains. When we passed by a resting area, we heard two people talking about a tomb in the Violet Water Swamp. They said that there were some strange movements recently and that there might be some great opportunity, so everyone said that they should go and take a look." Shui Rong said, "If there really was an opportunity, why would they say it so carelessly and let you hear it?" Sima Yue said, We thought so too at that time, but they insisted on taking a look. In the end, those who believed went down, while those who didn't believe waited for them up there. But in the end, only Yuan came up. Shui Rong said. Yuan came up and said that they were all dead and unconscious. Then we went back to the academy. Sima Yue thought for a while and said, Xiangyi said that Jingwan and the others were doing something nearby and came over when they heard that there were movements here. It's all hearsay. Then this hearsay is a bit coincidental. Kong Junshul, who was half asleep, suddenly said, someone must have purposely leaked the news. Dewey said, purposely leaked the news to let those people go in and then provide spiritual energy to those chi spirits to make them stronger? Shui Rong guessed. It should be. Fan Lei said. It's not it should be. It's true that someone is manipulating this. Sima Yue said. How can you be so sure? Little Wei asked. Before I left some bees behind. They sent back news that someone came out of the swamp the moment we left. Listening to them, I'm sure that they were the ones who leaked the news. Sima Yue said, but those people were very vague and didn't directly say anything useful. At that time, we didn't even notice that there were people in the swamp. These people's abilities can't be underestimated. Fan Lei said solemnly. They went down for a while, and when they came up, they said that they wanted to go to other places to continue. I think maybe there are many places like this. Sima Yue added, they just gave up on that place? They had no choice but to give up. There are no more chi spirits down there. Their efforts were wasted. Sima Yue said, what about those chi spirits? Before we came up, the senior brothers left some deviant flames. They should have been burned up. Sima Yue said. Kong Junshul narrowed his eyes and looked at her, but didn't say anything. He should find a time to ask her about the deviant flames that she released. You guys are more thorough, leaving some deviant flames to destroy the chi spirits. We don't know what kind of power is behind this, and where are they going next? Fan Lei said worriedly. Chapter 802. Didn't you send the scarlet bees there? Did they not hear what they were going to do next? Little Wei asked. Copy URL access. At that time, they only said that they were going to the next place, but they didn't say where. Sima Yu said, at that time, I ordered the bees to follow them, but their alertness was very high and they discovered the bees. In the end, all the bees were killed by them, and the information I received was cut off. If they can hide under the swamp without being discovered by us, it wouldn't be difficult for them to discover your scarlet bees. Fan Lei said, it's just that this way, we'll lose track of them. Then things won't be easy after that. Big Wei said, although these chi spirits can't leave the tomb, since those people have the intention to do so, they will naturally have a way to get them out. Right now, we can only go back and have the Academy's forces investigate. See if there are any strange movements or if something similar has happened. Fan Lei said, I think, now that they've failed this time, they'll speed up their next step, Little Wei said. There's no time to lose. Let's go back now. Fan Lei said, Director, can I go back by myself later? Sima Yue said, I have something to tell my friends. Fan Lei glanced at Kong Junshul. Seeing that he did not object, he said, since you want to stay, then stay. However, he could not delay the 3 great meetings. I know you have other events to take part in after leaving the billboard. Director, don't worry. I won't delay the competition. Sima Yue said with a smile. Then let's go back first. All right. When Han Miaoshuang came back from looking for food and Su Xiao finished bathing, he realized that everyone from the academy had left, leaving only Sima Yue and Kong Junshul. Where are the dean and teacher? Su Xiao dried her hair with spiritual power and asked, let's go back. Sima Yue said, then why didn't you call us? Because we are not going back. Sima Yue said with a smile. We're not going back. Then what should we do? Su Xiao looked at her in confusion. Let's rest for a day and then go to the mausoleum to take a look. You going back? Of course we have to go back. Sima Yue said, it's an ancient tomb. Don't you want to know what it looks like inside? No matter what it looks like, it's been so long. I don't think there's anything good left. Su Xiao wasn't interested in the things inside. Han Miaoshuang's eyes lit up as she held her hand and said, you really want to go back? I was thinking that there must be something good in there. How can I not go back? I didn't expect Junior Brother to have the same thoughts as me. Sima Yue looked at Kong Junshul, who had fallen asleep on the bed, and said, I'm not the only one who thinks the same way, right? If he didn't think so, he wouldn't have remained silent when she said that she wanted to stay. All right, then. Since you all want to go, let's go, Su Xiao said. But if we go like this, is it really okay? Our powers aren't very high. The three of you have deviant flames. You can walk sideways in there without a problem. Sima Yue said. What's sideways? You're the crab. Han Miao Shuang elbowed her. Since we're going tomorrow, I have to rest well today. You have to call me when you're leaving tomorrow. After she finished speaking, she ran out. I'm going to tidy up my house and then rest. Su Xiao also left. Sima Yue turned around and looked at Kong Junshul, who was lying on the bed. She knew that she couldn't wake him up now. She shook her head and went out. She didn't go to Kong Junshul's room. Instead, she went to look for Shimin Feng and Kong Sangyi, but she didn't find them in their rooms. Young Master Sima, are you looking for Young Miss and the others? A disciple from the Kong Valley passed by and saw her knocking on the door. He said, Young Miss and Shimin Feng went to young Master Jing's room. They might not be back yet. Oh, thank you. Sima Yue smiled at that person and went downstairs to Jing Wen's room. As expected, she found Shimin Feng there. At this moment, Kong Singyi, Shimin Feng, and the two brothers Jing were talking about what happened that day. When they heard Sima Yue knocking on the door, Shimin Feng went to open the door. You're really here. Sima Yue went in and saw that Jing Wen's face was still pale. She said, How's your injury? It's already much better. Jing Wen nodded at her. Why are you here? There's something I need to tell Feng. I also came to ask you something. Sima Yue said, What's the problem? Ask away. I want to know, how did you know about the tomb in the Violet Water Swamp? Sima Yue asked. There must be more than one tomb in the Violet Water Swamp. Why did you choose the one with the Qi spirit? We heard it from others. Jing Wen said, Jing Huan and I came here to settle some matters. Once in a while, we heard two people talking about it. We thought that if it was true, there would be a great opportunity. So we want to verify it. At that time, we thought that even if there was any danger, we should be able to handle it. But we didn't expect it to be that kind of thing. Can you remember who told you this? Jing Wen shook his head, saying, We were just talking about this. The two people who were talking were wearing ordinary clothes and looked very ordinary. But no matter how hard we tried, we couldn't remember what they looked like. You can't remember a single person? Sima Yue asked, a little surprised. Not a single person. Jing Wen said with certainty. In that case, the person who told you this must have used some kind of martial arts to make everyone subconsciously ignore their appearance. Sima Yue said, It was to spread the news without causing any trouble for them. We guessed that too. Kong Sangyi said, Why? Did the people from your school come here after hearing the news? Yes. Just like what you said, they couldn't remember what those people looked like. Sima Yue said, So someone really thought that they were controlling us. Jing Huan said in shock. Yes, after we left, someone came out of the swamp. Sima Yue said, What? The four of them were shocked when they heard the news. Sima Yue told them what the Scarlet Bees had seen. It seems that the person controlling us has a plan for the next step. We have to do something. Jing Huan said, The dean and the others have already left. He said that he would take action when he got back. I think there shouldn't be any problems, but I'm worried that the school will waste their efforts. Chapter 803. A waste of effort. Why? Jing Huan asked in surprise. Those people spent so many years to create a place to cultivate Qi spirits. Now that we've destroyed it, I'm afraid they'll be more careful in the future. That's true, Kong Singyi said, but the power of the Sky Heaven School is not to be underestimated. I also believe that the school will investigate. Once those things are released, they will definitely harm the people of the continent. On this point, the school is more upright. They won't just watch this happen. Sima Yue said, You said you were looking for me. What's the matter? Shimin Feng saw that Sima Yue was almost done asking and asked. Sima Yue glanced at the others. Kong Sengyi said, If it's not convenient for us to listen, You can go back to the house and talk. It's nothing. Sima Yue said, I just came to tell you that I plan to go back to the tomb. You want to go back to the tomb? It's so dangerous there. Before Shimin Feng could speak, Jing Huan spoke first. Jing Wen also looked at her disapprovingly. Everyone finally came out. Why do you want to go back? It's too dangerous there. Not to mention the arrays. Just the chi spirits alone are hard to deal with. Although you have lightning attribute spiritual energy, it's not enough there. The chi spirits have already been dealt with. Sima Yue said. Dealt with? How? Senior brother and the others dealt with it. Sima Yue said. But even so, if you go, it's still very dangerous, right? Kong Xingyi said worriedly. Feng, don't you think so? Feng. Kong Xingyi looked at Shimin Feng in disbelief. She thought he would advise her, but she didn't expect him to go crazy with her. 900 spirit beasts won't be able to change her mind. Why don't I go with her? Shimin Feng said. At least if there's any danger, I can accompany her. Sima Yue rubbed her nose. Don't talk to me like I'm a disobedient child. Aren't you? Shimin Feng asked. Of course not. Sima Yue retorted. That's a tomb from ancient times. There might be some treasures inside. Wouldn't it be a waste of such a good opportunity if we just leave like that? This kind of wasteful thing will be struck by lightning. That's why I know it's useless to persuade you. Shimin Feng knew his sister too well. When are you going? Tomorrow morning. All right. Kong Xingyi pulled Shimin Feng's sleeve and said, You guys really want to go? Then I want to go too. Why are you going? Shimin Feng subconsciously refused. If you want to go, I'll go too. Kong Xingyi said, Anyway, I'll go wherever you go. It's too dangerous there. You know it's dangerous, but you still want to go. Kong Xingyi said, I don't care. If you want to go, I want to go too. If you think it's dangerous, then don't go. Sima Yue saw Kong Xingyi looking at her and patted her forehead, saying, I still have some things to discuss with my seniors. You guys can decide whether you want to go or not. I'll go back first. She didn't want to get involved in this couple's matters. Let them decide for themselves. But she felt that Kong Xingyi's clinginess wasn't something that her cute little brother could resist. So when Kong Xingyi appeared in their group on the second day, she wasn't surprised at all. After that, the six of them returned to the Violet Water Swamp. Sima Yue found a scarlet bee's corpse on a plant in the swamp. This is the scarlet bee you left behind 2 days ago, Han Miao Shuang said. That's right. Sima Yue kept the scarlet bee's corpse into the spirit pagoda and said, Let's go down. The others nodded. Everyone wrapped themselves in spirit energy and jumped into the swamp again. When they came out of the tomb again, the six of them felt different from the last time. This is the Mirage Bug's corpse, Sima Yue said as she picked up one of the black corpses on the ground. The Mirage Bug was transparent when it was alive. I didn't expect it to turn pure black after it died. The difference is quite big, Han Miao Shuang said. We didn't chase after the Mirage Bug that day. Kong Xingyi said, These were left behind by the people who came after us. It's a pity that they didn't leave any useful information. Su Xiao said regretfully. If they could find some useful information, they might be able to guess who came after them. Not necessarily. Sima Yue smirked and threw away the Mirage Bug in her hand. If you get it, can you find any useful information from it? There's no useful information here, but there will be soon, she said as she walked inside. After a while, she saw a man in black lying on the ground. This person was lying on the ground with a faint smile on his face, as if he saw someone in his dreams. This person came after us? Looking at his clothes, he should be. If he's not one of them, why would he be dressed like this? Han Miao Shuang said. It's the same as when Su Yuan was poisoned. Luckily, no other spirit beasts came out after the Mirage Bug. So although this person is in danger, it's not like he can't be saved. Sima Yue said. Then let's try. Who knows, we might be able to get some information after we treat him. Su Xiao said. Sima Yue shook her head and said, Saving people is a waste of energy. We just need to get the information we want. How will we know if we don't save him? Kong Xingyi asked. Do you know about the soul-absorbing technique? Sima Yue teased her when she saw her expression. Soul-absorbing technique? What's that? Why haven't I heard of it before? Kong Xingyi believed her. It's a spirit technique that can absorb a person's soul. Sima Yue said, I'll suck his soul out in a while and absorb it. Then I'll know what happened to him. Kong Sengyi looked at Sima Yue in shock. You? How did you learn such a disgusting technique? Absorbing a person's soul was too disgusting. Sima Yue pulled a long face and said, How is it disgusting? You'll know if it's disgusting or not when you see it later. Kong Sengyi shook her head. No, I don't want to see it. Uffed. Sima Yue looked at her and couldn't help but laugh. You'll believe whatever she says. There's no such thing as a soul-absorbing technique. Shimin Feng rubbed Kong Sengyi's head and said affectionately, There's no soul-absorbing technique? Then what's she going to do? Kong Sengyi asked blankly. Sima Yue smiled, but didn't say anything. She squatted on the ground and placed one hand on the person's forehead and closed her eyes. Kong Sengyi looked at Sima Yue in confusion. Although she didn't know what she was doing, she knew that she shouldn't be disturbed and suppressed her questions. Tip: press the Enter key to return to the list of books. Press key to return to the previous page. Press key to return to the next page. Crazy Wife. 5th Miss Divine Doctor, please remember our address. Download Crazy Wife. 5th Miss Divine Doctor, please go to. Chapter 804. After a while of silence, Sima Yue finished reading that person's memories. Her body emitted a strong sense of anger. People like you deserve to die. She punched the man in the chest, and a raging flame spread from her hand, burning the man to ashes. Then she waved her hand, and little birdie returned her hand. Seeing her flames, Kong Junchul's pupils contracted. This flame, junior brother, what's wrong? It was the first time Han Miao Shuang saw Sima Yue like this, and she was a little scared. In this person's memories, other than the cruel training he received in an unknown place, everything else was about killing, killing, killing. For some reason that even he didn't know, they could massacre the entire city. And more than once. Sima Yue said, How despicable. Han Miao Shuang heard and was furious. Spirit masters like them wouldn't interfere with normal people's lives. These people who massacred a city for some reason were the most despicable. Then did you get any news about this? Shimin Feng asked. Sima Yue shook her head. Their organization's information management is very strict. This person is the lowest level assassin. He would only carry out a mission every time and wouldn't ask why. He didn't get any news at all. Even when they were together, they didn't see each other's faces. The only useful thing was that his superior had a scar at the corner of his eye. Then you don't know what their next plan is? Su Xiao asked. I don't know. I thought that after finding this person, there would be some clues, but I didn't expect that there would be nothing. Kong Sengyi said, Even the insiders don't know about this. It would be even harder for others to find out. I hope that the Academy will find something. Sima Yue calmed herself down, telling herself not to be so angry, or else it wouldn't be good to encounter danger with this kind of emotion. Let's go in. Han Miao Shuang saw that she had calmed down and said, The few of them kept their emotions and walked in. This time, they didn't meet any chi spirits. Will there be any unknown creatures here? Kong Sengyi asked beside Shimin Feng. I don't think so. Shimin Feng said, This mausoleum has existed for too long, and there's also a barrier separating it. It's already very rare for chi spirits to appear. Perhaps there was something protecting it in the past, but it wouldn't have survived until now. It said that ancient creatures are more powerful than the ones we have now. This kind of mausoleum is safer than the ones we have now. Thinking about it, they had been in here for so long, and there were no chi spirits to attack them this time. It was indeed safer than ordinary tombs. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The sound of fluttering wings came from the front. Judging from the sound, there should be a large wave of animals attacking. The sound was getting closer and closer, but no one saw any spirit beasts appear. The phantom bug is here. Everyone, be careful, Kong Junchul reminded. The phantom bug was only the size of a fingernail and looked like a beetle. Its body was transparent, and even its organs could not be seen. There were only 2 black dots at the tip of its 2 antennae. Therefore, when a swarm of phantom bugs flew over, what everyone saw was a dense mass of black dots. After hearing the sound, Everyone stopped moving forward and condensed their spirit energy to protect their bodies. When those transparent phantom bugs flew over, they attacked together. To deal with these spirit beasts that attacked in groups, everyone chose to use fire attribute spirit techniques. A spirit technique was released, and it swept across the area. Piles and piles of phantom bugs were burned, and the ground was densely covered with their corpses. These phantom bugs' carapaces are really hard. Normal flames can't burn them to ashes. Han Miao Shuang sighed as she looked at the corpses. You just have to deal with your phantom bugs. If you're not focused, you might get bitten. Su Xiao released a ball of flame to destroy all the phantom bugs that rushed towards her. Seeing her sigh, he couldn't help but say, Our Xiao is so good. How could I get bitten, right? Han Miao Shuang said while not forgetting to deal with the phantom bugs. The first wave of phantom bugs was destroyed before they could use their skills. The ones behind were smarter. They didn't rush over immediately, but attacked from afar. Unfortunately, distance was not a problem for spirit masters. Even if they were far away, they were still hit by the spirit energy and died in groups. Be careful of the yellow fog they release. Don't breathe it into your body. Sima Yue reminded Shimin Feng and Kong Sengyi. Kong Sengyi happened to be surrounded by a group of phantom bugs that broke through the encirclement. When he saw the yellow fog, he quickly held his breath and didn't breathe it in. Are you bullying me because I don't have fire attribute spirit energy? She took out a bell, inserted spirit energy, and shook it lightly. The bell immediately let out a clear and loud sound. The sound waves rippled in all directions. When the phantom bugs heard the sound, they became dizzy and their fighting strength decreased. Han Miao Shuang saw the phantom bug's reaction and couldn't help but praise, what a powerful sound attack. In order to save spirit energy, they changed to using deviant flames. Thousands of phantom bugs were burned to ashes. Shimin Feng also had fire attribute spirit energy, but his flames were weaker than Kong Junshul's. Therefore, many of the phantom worms attacked her. Kong Sengyi saw that there were more phantom bugs surrounding Shimin Feng and ran to his side. He shook his bell at the phantom bugs. With her help, Shimin Feng's pressure was reduced by a lot. It was easy to deal with them. How many phantom bugs are there? There's so many. Why didn't they fill up the tomb? Han Miao Shuang was a little annoyed by the waves of phantom bugs and complained. Sima Yue also thought, why were there so many of these guys? She didn't think so before. Actually, what they didn't know was that in the past, the Qi spirit was suppressing the phantom bugs, so they didn't dare to run around. But now that the Qi spirit was gone, this place became their territory. They kept burning for half an hour until the air was filled with the pungent smell of the phantom bugs being burned. Then, they finally stopped. Han Miao Shuang kept the flame and said, after burning for so long, if we only rely on spirit energy, I'm afraid it will be exhausted. These phantom bugs are stupid. They obviously saw their companions die, but they still kept flying over. Kong Sengyi didn't understand the phantom bugs and couldn't understand their suicidal behavior. Humans don't know much about the phantom bugs. The descriptions in the books are just one-sided views of the people who met a few before. Sima Yue said, I think their thinking should be simpler. They want to be with their companions. So when they saw their companions being burned to death, they continued to come over and didn't think of escaping. This is similar to other social creatures. Chapter 805. So many have been burned to death. I don't know if all of them have been burned. Su Xiao smelled the stench and frowned. It doesn't matter if this is all burned. I think the road ahead won't be peaceful. Sima Yue said, there are more insects in the tomb. I hope there won't be too many here. I don't think so. Those insects also need certain conditions to survive. It was rare that Kong Junshul was not sleepy. When his peach blossom eyes were fully open, they were not as charming as when he was sleepy, but they were still very good-looking. There are many tombs in the Violet Water Swamp. Everyone has taken a fancy to the feng shui here. But the central position is the best. Sima Yu said, but because it was the best in the beginning, it's the worst now. In the mausoleum, there are many of those insects, But here, because of the presence of chi spirits, it is not so easy for other creatures to reproduce. Kong Junshul said, "These phantom insects are probably an exception." Senior brother, you sound so sure. Are you very familiar with this? Sima Yue turned to look at Kong Junshul. I don't know much about it, but I know a little about it, Kong Junshul said lightly. Sima Yue looked at him. Why did she feel that he seemed to be saying that he was very familiar with this, and that he had gone through many ancient tombs? But would this guy know how to do it? It must be an illusion. Let's continue inside. Kong Junshul seemed to be very confident about the situation inside. With his hands clasped behind his back, he swaggered inside. When Sima Yue saw that he was not worried at all, she chose to believe him and followed him in. They kept walking and soon arrived at the place where they had met Jingwon and the others. Their journey was unimpeded and they did not encounter any danger. We haven't encountered anything after walking for so long. We should be able to confirm that the thing inside is gone. Su Xiao said, even if there was something in the past, over the long years, it has been completely cleaned up by the Qi spirit. Han Miaoshuang said, if it's that good, then wouldn't we be taking advantage of it? Kong Sengyi said with a smile, I'm afraid there aren't many good things left in this place. Kong Junshul poured a bucket of cold water. Why? The existence of the Qi spirit can not only destroy the creatures here, but also absorb the spiritual energy here. Sima Yue explained to her, if there's anything with spiritual energy here, it should have been sucked dry. But we can't say that there's nothing. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to find something. Kong Sengyi looked at Sima Yue and asked in surprise, you already knew? I know. That's how I know there's no danger here. Sima Yue said, but it was just a guess. I didn't expect this place to be so clean. Since there's nothing good left, why are we still here? Picking up scraps. When Kong Sengyi saw that Kong Junshul and the others had the same expression, he was speechless. It turned out that he was the only one who didn't know. I also don't know. Shimin Feng indifferently said. Kong Sengyi smiled when he heard that. Regardless of whether he really didn't know, she was very happy that he could say that. Let's go. Let's take a look at the situation inside. Sima Yue said. They were still at the periphery of the mausoleum. Normally, there wouldn't be anything good here. They still had to walk inside to be able to find something. When they passed by a stone room, Kong Sengyi pointed at a small oil lamp in the corner and said, why did we walk into this room so many times? This small oil lamp, the rooms that we passed by recently all had the same one. Everyone stopped. Han Miaoshuang walked over and picked up the small oil lamp. She threw it to another position and took out a jade bottle and placed it at the side. Let's walk again. They walked again and exited from one of the exits. After passing through a tunnel that was tens of meters long, they entered the next stone room. In the stone room, the small oil lamp and the jade bottle were placed in the same position. Seems like we've entered an illusion array. Sima Yue said, although it seems like we're moving forward, we've actually been walking in circles in this room. When did we enter the illusion array? Why didn't we feel anything? Su Xiao wasn't familiar with arrays. This array is more powerful than the current illusion array. Sima Yue said, I have to study it carefully. It was not an ordinary illusion array that could make her not feel anything. If you wanted to break this formation, it would take some time. She didn't know if it was because they trusted her from the bottom of their hearts. Even if they were trapped here, they didn't panic at all. Those who were dozing off continued to doze off. Those who were eating continued to eat. Those who were chatting continued to chat. Nobody asked her if they could get out. Sima Yue searched the room for a long time, but couldn't find any traces of the array. She couldn't even find the array, let alone break it. Little junior brother, you've been thinking for half a day. Do you want something to fill your stomach? Han Miaoshuang looked at Sima Yue's frown and asked. Sima Yue looked up at her and shook her head. You should eat it yourself. After speaking, she lowered her head and started calculating. Han Miaoshuang walked over with food and squatted beside her, saying, Little junior brother, it's been half a day. Do you have any idea? I have some idea, but I'm still looking for the array core. Sima Yue said, as long as we find the array core and destroy it, we can break this illusion array. What's the array core? Han Miaoshuang asked. Sima Yue pointed at the furnishings in the room. It's these few things. There is a small oil lamp, a rusty iron sword, a dusty plate, a wine pot, a few scattered wine cups, and some small stones. Then let's just destroy them. It'll save us the trouble. That won't do. Sima Yue quickly stopped her. This illusion array is different from other arrays. There's only one array core, but there are many fake array cores. If we destroy the other fake array cores, we might fall into a deeper layer of the illusory realm. It'll be harder to get out. That's why we have to find the right array core to break this illusion array. Han Miao Shuang pursed her lips and said, "So troublesome. It's indeed troublesome." Sima Yue rubbed her forehead and looked at the things in the stone room again. This stone room was empty. Other than those few things, there was nothing else. Those small stones could be eliminated. But that small oil lamp, iron sword, plate, wine flask, and wine cup, which one was the real array core? She took all these things in front of her. Looking at them, touching them, she couldn't be sure. I think this person must be someone who knows how to enjoy life. Kong Junshul woke up and said. Sima Yue heard him, and her eyes lit up. Chapter 806. She held the small oil lamp in one hand and the rusty iron sword in the other. These are the two array cores. Han Miao Shuang asked. Sima Yue nodded her head and said, "Eldest senior brother is right. This person is a person who loves to live. He loves to eat and drink. That's why the wine cups and dishes are arranged so neatly. As for the oil lamp and the iron sword, they were much more casual. But what? Kong Xingyi also came over. Most people wouldn't use something they like as the core of a formation. However, I'm afraid this person will do the opposite." After Sima Yue finished speaking, she put down the small oil lamp and the iron sword. She picked up the flagon and slammed it on the stone table. The layout of the stone room immediately changed. The wine jug in the stone room was still there, as if the scene of her breaking it had never happened. The eye of the array is a wine pot. How could it be a wine jug? Yue, how did you think of it? Han Miao Shuang grabbed the wine jug and looked at it. It was exactly the same as the one that Yue smashed. I guessed. Sima Yue said, "All right, since the array has been broken, let's continue our journey. I told you, with you around, this won't be a problem." Han Miao Shuang said confidently, "You really believe me? I believe it more than myself." Sima Yue smiled. If Wu Lingyu hadn't given her that array formation book, how could she have understood such a comprehensive array formation? Speaking of which, she hadn't seen him for a long time. That time when she entered the primal chaos world, he rushed back to see her. At that time, she found that he was in a hurry. In the past, when she was injured or emotionally unstable, he could sense it and would rush over to find her. But recently, when something happened to her, he did not appear, nor did he respond. Based on her understanding of him, he wouldn't disappear for no reason. Even if it wasn't for himself, he would still come to take a look at the contract. Therefore, she was a little worried that something had happened to him. That old fart from the Sage Pavilion had always coveted his body. Could it be that he had already been possessed by that old fart? Every time, he was the one who helped him. It seemed that after he went out, it was time for him to inquire about his situation. They continued to walk forward and pass by a few more stone rooms. However, it didn't find anything. After passing through the last stone chamber, they arrived at an underground cliff. The cliff was about 10 meters wide and bottomless. The sound of flowing water could be heard from below. It should be an underground river. There was an iron bridge on the cliff, and on the other side of the bridge was a gate. He didn't know what material the door was made of, but after so many years, it hadn't been eroded by the wind. The central tomb is just up ahead. Kong Junshul stood on the cliff with his hands behind his back as he looked ahead thoughtfully. Kong Junshul, have you robbed a lot of tombs? He actually knew so much about mausoleums. Could it be that your Jiang family changed their profession to tomb robbing? Han Miao Shuang walked to his side and teased. Kong Junshul glanced at her and said, Have you heard of an ancient great emperor who used his own strength to chase away foreign invaders? You're talking about the Azure Great Emperor? Han Miaoshuang was surprised that he mentioned that person. However, she still told him what she knew. Rumor has it that the Azure Great Emperor was the last great emperor of the ancient era. His achievements were much higher than the previous great emperors. Although there were other great emperors after him, no one could compare to him. The Azure Great Emperor's life is a mystery. Only a few things have been passed down to the world. However, even with these few things, the future generations can only look up to him. Kong Junshul spoke about this ancient great emperor with respect and admiration in his eyes. Sima Yue heard their conversation and walked over. This was the second great emperor's name she heard after returning to the primordial lands. Emperor Qing Dao, whom he had heard of at the auction, was one of them. This Azure Sea Emperor was another. Why did you suddenly mention the Azure Great Emperor? Han Miaoshuang asked. Do you know? The outer region wasn't like this in the past. It used to be the most suitable place for cultivation. There were many ancient cultures and prosperity that we couldn't imagine. Kong Junshul said, many people used to live here. The outer region was so prosperous. Sima Yue asked curiously. The ancient books in the Spirit Pagoda didn't mention this. This was the first time she heard about it. That was a long time ago. Kong Junshul said, because it was too long ago, not many people know about it now. How did senior brother know? I've seen it in an ancient book. Kong Junshul said. Kong Junshul, do you know something? Han Miaoshuang narrowed her eyes at him. In that ancient book, I saw it mention something. Kong Junshul said. What is it? That Azure Great Emperor once had a beloved woman. He was very sad after she died and buried her in a place with good feng shui. That place, from afar, looked like a fire dragon spitting out pearls. Kong Junshul said faintly. It can't be? You're saying that this is the tomb that the great emperor built for his beloved woman? Su Xiao cried out. Damn, is that true? Han Miaoshuang couldn't help but curse. This news was too shocking. Everyone was shocked to the point that they didn't want to. There's something even more shocking. Kong Junshul said, that book said that although the Azure Great Emperor didn't cultivate, he was very powerful. For that woman, he left behind a trace of his divine sense to accompany her. It's been a long time since a great emperor appeared. If you can really get some pointers from a great emperor, you'll definitely benefit a lot. Kong Sengyi said, maybe the next great emperor will be us. Sima Yue wasn't very interested in the Azure Great Emperor's divine sense. After so many years, it wasn't an exaggeration to say that the sea had turned into mulberry fields. Even if that trace of divine sense was here before, it wouldn't be anymore. She was more interested in the things that were left behind. But then she thought that there were so many chi spirits here. Even if there was something good, it would have become waste now. Sigh. Thinking about this, she couldn't help but sigh. Her sigh poured cold water on the excited crowd. They also thought that even if there was something good, it wouldn't be left behind until now. But even if there isn't anything good, this tomb left behind by the Azure Great Emperor is worth a good look. Han Miaoshuang was more optimistic. She was still smiling and wasn't too disappointed. Then let's continue forward. Kong Sengyi said, okay. They wanted to fly over the cliff, but found that they couldn't fly here. They could only go over the small bridge. It's such a long bridge. I don't know if it can withstand people. Han Miaoshuang said, we'll know once we try. Kong Junshul wasn't worried at all. He walked over with large strides and finally reached safely. Seeing that he was fine, Han Miaoshuang and the others also walked over. Yi was at the back. She waited for them to reach before stepping on the small bridge. But before she reached the center of the bridge that was still intact suddenly broke. She fell down the cliff with the bridge. Chapter 807. Yue, junior brother. Seeing her fall, everyone panicked. Shimin Feng almost jumped down, but fortunately, Kong Sengyi pulled him back. If you can't fly, it's the same if you go down. Let's see if the flying beast can fly first. I'm fine. Sima Yoyue's voice could be heard from below. Only then did everyone feel relieved. Pu. Piyu. The sound of flapping wings could be heard. It seemed that flying was not allowed here, but the birds could still fly. Sima Yue sat on Choming's back and slowly came up from the abyss. Then, she landed on the opposite side of the cliff. Yue, are you all right? Kong Sengyi asked. I'm fine. I called out Choming before we reached the bottom. Sima Yue said, It's good that you're fine. That really scared me to death. Han Miao Shuang said, It's a good thing that spirit beasts are allowed to fly here. Otherwise, you would have fallen into the dark river. Nothing happened to me when I walked up there. Junior brother, how did you break it with your small body? Su Xiao asked in confusion. I don't know either. Sima Yu looked at the end of the bridge that had already fallen, saying, This bridge has already fallen. It's probably because you guys just happened to reach its load. I was overweight the moment I went up, so it broke. Is that really the case? Everyone had doubts in their hearts, but they couldn't get an answer. He had no choice but to give up. Let's move on, Kong Junshul said to everyone when he saw that Sima Yue was fine. Everyone's attention returned to the door behind them. This door looks very ordinary. I wonder if it will be as easy to open as other ordinary doors. I'll try, Su Xiao said. Xiao, don't think that you're strong just because you're tall. Han Miao Shuang said, Save your strength for later treasure hunting. I'm stronger than you. Su Xiao retorted after being mocked by Han Miao Shuang. I know you're older than me. Han Miao Shuang didn't deny this point, but didn't I know myself and didn't think of opening the door? Su Xiao glared at her sadly and asked, What should we do now? According to my many years of experience in the continent. Han Miao Shuang touched her chin and said, There must be some treasure here. But no matter what, it was not as surprising as the other mausoleums. I think there should be a way to open this door. This door can be preserved for so long. Its quality must be very good. Shimin Feng said. So now the best way is to find a way to enter. Xiangyi, why don't you try? Sima Yue said, This shouldn't be too difficult for you, right? Kong Singyi did not decline and said, I can only promise that I will try my best. It might not work. You guys have always been more knowledgeable about spiritual weapons. I think you're the best at this. Sima Yue said, Go ahead. I believe in you. Kong Sengyi felt that her words were familiar. It seemed that they had said the same thing to her before and asked her to study arrays. She didn't think that she would return the same words to her. Although she was depressed, she still went to study the door. As a large force, Kong Valley was the best at refining weapons. This kind of door that had been passed down from ancient times was the most attractive to them. Sima Yue watched as Kong Sengyi touched the door here and there. Her concentrated look was quite charming. Han Miao Shuang came to her side and said, Can she handle this? She should be able to. Sima Yue said, I see that Fenger trusts her. There shouldn't be any problems. Let's wait and see. If she can't, I think we can go in. After speaking, she glanced at Kong Junshul. That guy leaned on Xiao and was about to fall asleep. After about half a day, everyone was about to fall asleep from waiting. Kong Sengyi's voice suddenly rang in everyone's ears. All right, I know how to open this door. Sima Yue was originally meditating. When she heard her, she opened her eyes. At the same time, everyone else opened their eyes. You found a way. Han Miao Shuang stood up from the ground and said excitedly. Yeah, Kong Xiang was very excited. After everyone woke up, she asked Shimin Feng to help and infused spiritual energy into the four corners of the door. Then, she went to the middle and turned the mechanism on the door clockwise and counterclockwise a few times. The spiritual energy in the four corners flowed along the grooves on the door. The turntable in the middle also started to turn on its own, making kacha-kacha sounds. Everyone held their breaths and looked at the door. After the turntable in the middle turned 100 times, the door finally made a crisp sound, as if it was unlocked. All right. Kong Sengyi walked over again and asked Shimin Feng to help. The two of them each pushed one side of the door and slowly pushed it open. Sima Yue and the rest looked at the opening with caution. They were prepared to attack if anything rushed out. But in the end, there was nothing. Oh, the door was completely opened. They saw a huge stone room behind the door. There were many small stone rooms around. Every stone room was filled with things. Most of them were jewels and jades. There were also many spirit stones and crystals, but they had lost their luster and had become useless stones. Everyone looked at these things regretfully. If there were no spiritual energy to absorb all the spiritual energy here, they would have made a fortune. Any of the things in the room would be a huge fortune. What a pity, what a pity. Han Miao Shuang looked at those things and couldn't help but feel pity. Sima Yue sighed in her heart. If there weren't any spiritual energy, how good would it be? She originally thought that she could pick up some leftovers, but now she was sure that there was nothing left for her to pick up. They probably came here for nothing. Let's go to the inner tomb to take a look. Kong Junshul and Xiao Xiao walked one round. After confirming that there was nothing useful, they said to Yu and the rest. Han Miao Shuang was uninterested. She waved her hand and said, "There's so many things here that are useless. What's the use of going to the inner tomb? Who knows what else is waiting for us in the inner tomb?" Kong Junshul looked at Sima Yue and asked, "Do you think so too? This tomb can be considered a dead tomb. There are no living creatures and no treasures. Even if we continue walking, we won't get any treasures." Sima Yue said with a shrug. She looked at Kong Junshul and saw that his usually lazy eyes were filled with an unfamiliar passion. She didn't know why, but she felt that this matter was a little strange. But she couldn't pinpoint exactly what was wrong. Chapter 808. Should we go in and take a look? Kong Xingyi looked at Sima Yue and said, "Since we're already here, I won't be satisfied if we don't take a look inside." "That's true," Han Miao Shuang said. "Even if there's nothing inside, it's fine to see what it looks like. Little junior brother, why don't we go in?" Sima Yue frowned. Seeing that everyone wanted to go in, she suppressed her doubts and nodded. "Let's go in and take a look. But there are so many rooms. How are we going to get in?" "Senior brother, do you know how to get in?" Su Xiao asked Kong Junshul. Since he had read the ancient book, he should know how to get in. Kong Junshul looked around the stone room. Every room was the same. There were many things inside, but there was no passageway that extended to the inside. It was as if this was the end of the mausoleum. There's no way out, but there's no coffin either. It's said that the Azure Sea Great Emperor personally forged a crystal coffin, but I haven't seen it here either. Crystal coffin? How romantic. But it was probably absorbed by those chi spirits. Han Miao Shuang said regretfully, "That crystal coffin is not an ordinary item. It shouldn't have been destroyed by the chi spirit." Kong Junshul said, "Then we have to look for it properly. If we could see the people from ancient times, Han Miao Shuang laughed. "Little junior brother, do you think the people from our time are better looking, or the people from that time are better looking?" "More or less. After a long period of time in the Great Void Immemorial Era, the ancient people should have finished evolving." Sima Yue said, "Uft, humans still need to evolve? Don't you look like this?" Kong Xingyi burst into laughter. "Of course. Do you think people are like that from the start?" Sima Yue said, "What did that person look like before?" Han Miao Shuang asked curiously. "Chong, how would I know?" Sima Yue stopped talking. Was she going to tell them that the ancestors of mankind were apes? Do apes and humans have similar blood flowing through their veins? It would be strange if they believed him. However, the seemingly weak humans on Earth had discovered this long ago. Let's talk about the current situation. Shimin Feng interrupted their discussion. In the past, he had heard Yue talk about human evolution. At that time, he thought it was unbelievable. They knew that if they wanted to talk about this issue, they would probably have to wait here for the rest of the day. Although Kong Junshul also wanted to listen to the theory of human evolution, now is not the right time. There should be a mechanism here, but it won't be easy to find it. He looked around again, but still did not find anything. There's so many things in these rooms. They might be blocking something. Let's clean it up first. Sima Yue said. Every stone room was filled with things. Some of them were still in their original state, while others had already been reduced to powder, forming a thick layer on the ground. With a thought, Sima Yue kept everything in her spirit pagoda. Little Spirit was playing with Ling Long in the space, when suddenly a large pile of dust fell down. If it wasn't for his quick reaction, he would have been buried in it. You, what are you doing? He jumped up and shouted at her. My mistake, my mistake. Sima Yue said apologetically in her heart. What's wrong with you? Little Spirit felt that something was wrong with her. She shouldn't have made such a low-level mistake. I don't know either. Sima Yue said, ever since I entered this tomb, I've always felt weird. It seems like something is wrong, but it also feels weird. Why is it weird? Little Spirit sensed the outside and said, there's nothing weird. The space here is very normal. There really isn't anything. Could it be that I'm thinking too much? Sima Yue said uncertainly. Forget it. I can't think of anything even if I think about it. Let me see how to find the inner tomb. Yue, what are you thinking about? Kong Xingyi saw that Sima Yue was in a daze and asked, I'm checking if there are any mechanisms in the room. Sima Yue said casually. Did you see anything? No. Sima Yue shook her head. If it's an array, I might be able to see something. But I'm an amateur when it comes to mechanisms. Everyone doesn't know much about mechanisms. It seems like we're stuck here this time. Han Miaoshuang said. Let me try. Chou Ming said. Okay, see if there's anything strange here. Sima Yue said. Chou Ming closed his eyes and started to sense. Han Miaoshuang went to Yue's side and said softly, Isn't Chou Ming a spirit beast? He knows this? He doesn't know either. Then how can he? He doesn't know anything about divination, but he's a space-type spirit beast. He's more sensitive to space. If there's anything different, he can sense it. Sima Yue said, Space-type spirit beasts have this kind of ability? It was everyone's first time hearing about this. They were curious and looked at Chou Ming with curiosity. Chou Ming sensed for a while and opened his eyes. He pointed to a stone room on the right and said, There's a movement behind that. Everyone entered the stone room. Everything here was taken away. Not even a stone was left. The entire space was clear at a glance. They carefully checked every inch of the wall, but they didn't find anything. Kong Junchul's eyes flashed with impatience, but it was fleeting and no one noticed. Hiss, Sima Yue suddenly gasped. Little junior brother, what happened to you? Sima Yue retracted her hand and said, When I touched the wall just now, I got pricked by something and bled on the wall. Look, Kong Xingyi shouted. He looked at the changes in the wall in shock. The originally empty wall slowly turned white, and then all kinds of colors appeared one after another. The blue sky, the green grass, and a small river seemed to be flowing slowly. In the river, 2 lotus leaves floated with the waves, and then a stem leaf slowly appeared. Finally, a 9-petaled lotus flower appeared, and that flower was actually black. The black flower and leaves emitted a cold and arrogant aura. The soft and straight lotus stem was like a young girl's graceful figure. This ink-colored 9-petaled lotus flower grew unbridledly in this world, blooming with its own tranquil splendor. Everyone was stunned by this black lotus flower. That cold and arrogant aura made everyone lose themselves in this small world. But before they could admire it, the black lotus flower split into 2. Then, the 2 halves of the black lotus flower quickly retreated to opposite ends of the wall. At the same time, a long crack appeared in the middle of the wall. The entire wall turned into a double door. Chapter 809. Book title, Chapter, The Real Mausoleum Author. Everyone looked at each other with shock written all over their faces. What kind of situation was this? The door appeared just like that? Just now. It seems like it happened after your blood dripped on it. Kong Xingyi stared at Sima Yue. Does your blood have any special function? What kind of strange functions can it have? Maybe the door needs blood to activate. Sima Yue denied. Since we have found the door, let's go in and take a look. She didn't want them to be entangled in this issue, because when she saw that black lotus, she felt a scorching sensation on her back, as if there was a flame burning. However, she subconsciously didn't want anyone to know about this. That's right. Han Miaoshuang said, We couldn't find the door before, but now that the door is open, let's go in and take a look. Su Xiao and Shimin Feng stepped forward and each of them pushed a door. However, the door that seemed to have been opened didn't budge at all. That's weird, Su Xiao said. Could it be that we're not strong enough? Xiang Yi, let's give it a try too. Han Miao Shuang and Kong Sang Yi went up and helped one person each. The four of them tried to push him, but it was useless. The four of them tried several times, but the final result was the same. They retreated and looked at the door speechlessly. That's strange. It's clearly not locked. Why couldn't it be opened? Could it be that this is the same as the door outside, with some kind of mechanism? Han Miao Shuang touched her chin. Why don't, Xiang Yi, you try and see if there's any mechanism here? All right. Kong Sang Yi changed her approach and began to study the door to see if there was any mechanism. However, after studying for a long time, she still did not find anything special. I can't push it and there's no mechanism. Could it be that this isn't a real door? Su Xiao asked. You really can't push it open? Sima Yue said, Is it because your bodies are weak? Let me try. She walked over and placed her hand on the door. The moment she touched the door, the scorching sensation on her back turned into a cooling sensation, as if it wasn't hot at all. Because she thought that the four of them didn't push it, she placed both her hands on the door. Before she exerted any force, the door creaked and opened a gap. A strong white light shone through the gap, made her squint at her eyes subconsciously. In that instant, she seemed to see a beautiful woman standing in a white light. However, it was only a momentary trance. When her eyes adjusted to the white light, she opened her eyes again. She was no longer a woman. She pushed the door opened, it was opened it. As for her, she was stunned when she saw the scenery behind the door. You are. You. Kong Xiang Yi jumped over. Seeing the scene in front of her, she was stunned. Is it? Could it be that there's a treasure inside? Han Miao Shuang walked over, followed by Shimin Feng and Jiang Junjia. Although they weren't as exaggerated as Yue, they were still shocked. Behind the door was neither a stone room nor a cave. It was a world. There was a sky and a land. There were mountains and rivers. There were flowers and grass. There were even two small houses on a mountainside. Yu, a distant and ethereal call seemed to have passed through time and space. It floated to Yue's ears. The call was very soft and faint, but it made her heart tremble. Who was calling her? Was it calling her? She wanted to find the person who was calling her, but she realized that there was no one here. This is really too beautiful. Kong Sang Yi came back to his senses. He held his hands in front of his chest and sighed. Han Miao Shuang and the others walked in unconsciously. They wanted to confirm if this was an illusion. This place is really beautiful, but this shouldn't be the real world. Kong Junchul said, That's right. We are obviously underground. It's impossible for us to be in such a beautiful place. Shimin Feng said, Then this should also be an illusion array. To be able to create such an illusion, this person is really powerful. Han Miao Shuang sighed. This isn't an illusion array either. Sima Yue said, Not an illusion array? Could it be the real world? Sima Yue took a deep breath and stepped in. Then, she stretched out her hand and said, Can you touch me? Han Miao Shuang stretched out her hand to grab her. She was only a step away from her, but she couldn't grab her. Her hand even brushed past Yue's palm. This is two spaces. If I'm not wrong, this should be a small realm. Kong Junchul said, Azure Emperor placed a small realm here. This door is the door to this small realm. Then, this door is a part of the tomb. So powerful. Su Xiao was shocked. This real tomb is actually a small realm. No wonder there weren't many mechanisms and arrays before. It was all a cover. The real purpose is here. Sima Yue sighed. Seeing the small realm, she figured out some of the doubts in her heart. She felt that something was amiss. There were too few mechanisms in the tomb. It didn't seem like a normal tomb. Although there were fewer creatures in the tomb, because of the Qi spirit, there were too few mechanisms. However, the doubts in her heart didn't completely disappear. There were still some lingering doubts in her heart. That woman's tomb should be here. Kong Junchul also stepped in and came to Yu's side. Eldest senior brother is very sure that this is the tomb of Azure Emperor's beloved woman? Sima Yue asked. I wasn't 100% sure at first, but when I saw the small realm, I was very sure. Why? Because that book said that Azure Emperor had a few small realms. One of the small realms was placed on that woman. To be able to use a small realm as a tomb and match the location in the legend, isn't this enough to confirm it? Kong Junchul said. Then what about the crystal coffin? Could it be in that house? Han Miaoshuang was more curious about that woman. She wanted to see if there was anything left behind. Let's go to that house and take a look. Kong Sengyi had the same idea as her. The two of them hit it off and flew towards the small house together. So impatient. We'll walk over slowly. Can that house run away? Kong Junchul said with a smile. Let's go too. After Shimin Feng and the others entered, the door closed by itself. Sima Yue turned back to look. The door had already disappeared. Only a vast expanse was left behind. How do we get in so easily? She muttered in her heart. Looking at everyone's expression, it seemed like they didn't think of this problem. They were probably stunned by the small realm, the tomb, and Azure Emperor's surprise. No one thought of this problem. Ah, Han Miaoshuang and Kong Sengyi's screams suddenly came from the house. Gentlemen's Assembly Hall Reading Network. Chapter 810. When everyone heard the cries, their expressions changed, and they hurriedly flew over. Xiang Yi, senior sister, Han Miaoshuang. When they flew to the front of the house, they didn't hear any movement. Thinking that something had happened to them, they quickly rushed in. Xiang Yi, how are you? Are you okay? Shimin Feng rushed in first and saw Kong Sengyi and Han Miaoshuang standing together. Han Miaoshuang was holding a painting in her hand. Han Miaoshuang, since you're all fine, why are you shouting? Kong Junchul said with an ugly expression. No, look at this. It's too horrifying. Han Miaoshuang pointed at the portrait in Kong Sengyi's hand. What is this painting about? Why are you so shocked? This painting. Su Xiaoxiao walked over and exclaimed when she saw the painting. Is it really that scary? Kong Junchul and Shimin Feng also walked over. When they saw the painting, their faces were filled with disbelief. Kong Junchul even turned his head to look at Yue. Then, everyone turned to look at her. Sima Yue was shocked by them and said, Are they really that scary? Everyone nodded. Then I'd better not watch it. Sima Yue took 2 steps back. She did not want to be tortured. I think you should take a look, Kong Sengyi said. Didn't you guys say it was scary? But you'll regret it if you don't, Kong Sengyi said. Everyone nodded again. Sima Yue was confused by their behavior. In the end, she made up her mind and walked over. Then, she was also stunned. This was a very simple portrait of a woman. Her clothes were not drawn much, but her face was drawn to perfection. And that face was 90% similar to hers. It's a pity that the portrait is of a woman. If it was a man, he would look more like junior brother. Su Xiao said. Sima Yue walked over and Shimin Feng and the others stepped aside. Kong Sengyi passed the portrait to her and said, Take a look at it yourself. Could it be that little junior brother is an old monster who has lived for tens of millions of years? Han Miaoshuang teased with a smile. Why don't you show me how long you've lived? Sima Yu glared at her. She took the portrait from Kong Xiangyi's hands and studied it carefully. Indeed, he was somewhat similar to himself. Those eyes, those cheeks, that nose bridge, that little mouth, they were exactly the same as her. Why is there a faint fragrance here? She put the painting under her nose and sniffed, asking. There seems to be a faint fragrance. Kong Sengyi said, There wasn't any fragrance when we came in just now. Right, Miaoshuang? I didn't notice. Han Miaoshuang sniffed fiercely. There seems to be a fragrance, but there are flowers and trees everywhere outside. It shouldn't matter if there's a fragrance, right? Kong Sengyi nodded. That's right. Don't think about the fragrance. Quickly tell us what you think of this. I don't have any opinion. Sima Yue shrugged. The world is so big. There's nothing strange about looking similar. But this is too similar. And your blood opened the door to this little realm. Could there be a connection between these two? Su Xiaoxiao asked. What connection could there be? It's just a coincidence. All right. She's a girl. I'm a guy. Don't put me together with her, she said with a serious expression. Her serious expression made everyone shut their mouths. Kong Sang-yi and the others would have believed her if they didn't already know that she was a girl. The things here are well preserved. It should be the effect of the little realm. Let's see if there's anything else in other places. Kong Junchul said, "It's just a little realm. There must be a lot of treasures." Han Miao Shuang said excitedly, "But the little realm is so big. It won't be easy to find things here, right? Then let's split up and look." Su Xiaoxiao said, "I agree too." Kong Sang-yi said, "No need." Sima Yue persuaded them. The previous owner of this little realm is no longer here because it was refined, so when its owner died, it degenerated. The size of this place is probably what we see now. Then isn't there nothing? Han Miao Shuang said disappointedly. "No, there's a crystal coffin here." Kong Junchul said, "What's the use of a coffin? We can't take it out for ourselves." Sima Yue laughed at her words, saying, "Although the little realm has become smaller, there should still be a lot of things. I'm just saying, there's no need to split up. Let's just go outside and see what's there." "That's true. Then let's go out and look." They went out and walked around and found that there weren't many things here, but there were many precious herbs, and they were all very old. "We've hit the jackpot. We've hit the jackpot." Han Miao Shuang muttered excitedly as she dug out the herbs. "If Master knows about this place, he'll be very happy." Su Xiaoxiao was also very excited. Kong Junchul wasn't as excited as them. Other than digging out some rare herbs, he spent most of his time looking around. Very quickly, they dug out all the herbs, which made Han Miao Shuang and the others sigh more than once. If the little realm hadn't shrunk, how many good things would there be? "Let's go back to the house." Kong Junchul said, "I think the crystal coffin should be in one of the houses. Let's go back. Who knows? There might be some treasures left for us in the house." Kong Sang-yi agreed. Those herbs weren't very useful to her, so she dug out less. Seeing that Kong Sang-yi and the others got treasures, she wanted to get treasures too. So the group went back to the house and searched room by room. There's no crystal coffin. It doesn't seem to be here. Or the crystal coffin is just a legend? After searching one round without any results, they started to doubt the whole thing. Impossible. The crystal coffin is definitely here. Kong Junchul said confidently. Sima Yue let Chongming sense it again, then said to everyone, "There's another room behind here." "There's another room?" Sima Yue came to the side of the wall, touched it with both hands, then pressed hard on one of the pieces, and an underground tunnel appeared on the ground. Once the tunnel opened, a gust of cold air rushed out from the ground. "Let's go down and take a look." Kong Junchul took the lead and jumped down. The others followed suit. The tunnel wasn't long, but the temperature was abnormally cold, causing everyone to shiver. They walked for a while and reached the end. When they arrived at the secret room, they saw the crystal coffin in the middle. Sure enough, it's really here. Kong Junchul stood beside the crystal coffin, looking excitedly at the thing he was looking for. Chapter 811. Seeing that Kong Junchul was so excited, everyone walked over. However, they did not see the woman's body inside. Only a tungsten iron sword lying quietly in the crystal coffin. The hilt of the sword was engraved with strange patterns. It looked like a spirit beast was circling on top of it. The scales and claws looked like a giant dragon. The dragon's eyes were embedded with 2 dazzling rubies. The rubies emitted a faint light, making people feel that the sword was evil. The sword was not in the scabbard, but lying on the side. Its name was written on the sword. Heaven Splitter. Why is it a sword? What's more, it's a sword with evil aura. Han Miao Shuang looked at the sword in disgust. She was shocked by the evil aura emitted by the sword. Sima Yue walked over and exclaimed when she saw the name of the sword. Sky Splitter Devil Sword. At this time, Linglong was restless in the spirit pagoda. She kept shouting that she wanted to come out, but she was locked inside and refused to come out. You, I want to go out. I want to fight it to the death. Linglong was rolling all over the sky, constantly shouting. Linglong, stop messing around. Little Spirit grabbed her and said, "With your current strength, how could you possibly be a match for the Sky Splitter Devil Sword? If you go out now, you'll be split in half immediately." but it's just outside. I've been looking for it for so many years, but I never thought that it was actually hiding here. Ling Long shook off Little Spirit's hand and flew back and forth, protesting against Yue for locking her in here. Since you know it's here, are you still afraid that you won't have a chance in the future? Little Spirit said. You and it are mutually reinforcing and restraining each other. If you can't defeat it, then the person who will become a piece of scrap metal will be you. Do you think you're a match for it now? Do you want to become a pile of scrap metal? Exquisite calmed down and said unhappily, I know, but I just can't control the urge to go and get even with it. All right, you haven't seen each other for thousands of years. It doesn't matter if you wait a little longer. Little Spirit comforted her. You, hurry up and cultivate. I can only become stronger if you become stronger. Ling Long shouted at Sima Yue. Junior brother, do you know this sword? Su Xiao asked. Sima Yue nodded and said, This is a demonic sword that once ruled over an area in ancient times. I don't know why he disappeared. Devil sword? Although it was indeed a little evil, it still looked all right. Why is it called the Devil Sword? Sima Yue looked at Kong Junshul and said, I think eldest senior brother should know better than me. The words he said when they came in were still ringing in her ears. He said, Sure enough, it's here. At that time, she thought he was talking about the remains of that ancient woman, but she didn't expect him to be talking about this demonic sword. The Sky Splitter was known as the #1 sword in the world in ancient times. Its divine power was boundless. Even in the hands of an ordinary divine rank, it had the strength to fight against a monarch rank expert. If it was in the hands of an expert, its power would be boundless. Sky Splitter was the divine weapon that everyone was vying for at that time. In that era, only the divine weapon Ling Long could contend against it. Kong Junshul said, Why is such a divine weapon called the Devil Sword? Kong Sing didn't understand. Because the Sky Splitter needs to drink the blood of 10 people every day. Kong Junshul said, Not only that, it will also demonize the owner's divine sense, turning him into a bloodthirsty killing machine. Hiss, it's that scary? Didn't anyone think of destroying it? Shimin Feng asked. In the beginning, no one thought that it would have such a demonic nature, so they didn't take it to heart. It was only 10 people a day. Those who pursued strength didn't even take it to heart. Later on, when everyone realized that it had already become a demonic sword, it was already too late. It had already become an indestructible demonic sword, and no one could destroy it. Not even Emperor Canglan. If he could, then it wouldn't have lain here for thousands of years. Kong Junshul said, using a small realm to imprison it here forever, so that it would never see the light of day, never see people, and use thousands of years to destroy its demonic nature. It's a pity that after so long, it still hasn't been completely destroyed. Then wouldn't this sword never be destroyed? That's not it, Kong Junshul said. The original creator said that the divine weapon Ling Long and the Sky Splitter are mutually exclusive. If there's something in this world that can destroy it, then it's only Ling Long, divine weapon Ling Long. Kong Sengyi frowned. I've heard of this before, but this is also a divine weapon from ancient legends. Now, no one knows where it is, and no one knows if it still exists. Since this Sky Splitter is so scary, then let's just leave it here. Han Miao Shuang said, I feel that there's still demonic energy on it, and the aura it emits is too terrifying. If we take her out, I don't know what kind of bloody storm will be set off on the road. I think eldest senior brother won't agree, Sima Yue said while looking at Kong Junshul through the crystal coffin. Eldest senior brother? Su Xiao and Han Miao Shuang looked over, not knowing why Sima Yue said that. Kong Junshul looked at Sima Yue helplessly and said, Everyone didn't see it. How did you see it? Didn't you come here for this? Sima Yue said, Or you've been aiming for this since a long time ago. Kong Junshul took out a pair of black silk gloves and said, Little junior brother, it's not good to be too smart. I don't want to either. Sima Yue looked at him and said, Eldest senior brother, are you really going to take the Sky Splitter out? Yes. Do you know the consequences of taking the Sky Splitter out? Of course I do. Wait, what are you talking about? Why don't I understand? Han Miao Shuang looked at Sima Yue and then looked at Kong Junshul and said, Kong Junshul, you want to take the demon sword out? Is that what you mean? Kong Junshul glanced at her and didn't answer, but his meaning was clear. Kong Junshul, are you crazy? Han Miao Shuang shouted. Eldest senior brother? Su Xiao Xiao looked at him in shock and couldn't believe his eyes. Little junior brother, you already knew? Han Miao Shuang looked at Sima Yue and asked, What's going on? It's actually very simple. Sima Yue said, Eldest senior brother just wants to take the sky splitter out. No. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao Xiao rejected at the same time. This demon sword is too dangerous. If it appears again, the consequences will be unimaginable. Eldest senior brother, you can't take it out. What if I must take it out? Will you stop me? Kong Junshul's aura changed. It was no longer the lazy and casual aura from before. Instead, it was emitting an evil aura. Chapter 8:12. Eldest brother? Su Xiao Xiao looked at Kong Junshul and asked, Are you okay? Of course I'm fine. Please search to see the most complete. Kong Junshul said, Xiao Xiao, we've been brothers for so many years. You won't stop me, right? Eldest senior brother, you can't take this demonic sword out. Su Xiao said, If you insist on taking it out, then we can only stop you. How are you going to stop me? You can't beat me. Kong Junshul shrugged disapprovingly. Kong Junshul, why did you bring this out? For the Jiang family? Han Miao Shuang was more clear about his identity and asked with a gloomy face. The Jiang family? Kong Junshul smiled and said, I have nothing to do with the Jiang family. What did you say? Kong Junshul, that idiot. How could he be smarter than me? Kong Junshul said, I just borrowed his identity. Who are you? Your Han family and my Jiang family have been friends for generations. You know Kong Junshul. Then, do you know that Kong Junshul has a twin brother, Jiang Junxian? You are that. Han Miao Shuang looked at Kong Junshul and said in disbelief, Didn't you say you were dead? Kong Junshul, no. Jiang Junxian heard Han Miao Shuang's words and smiled. That smile was filled with disgust and deep pain. Die? No, I'm not dead, but someone wants me dead. That way, he can become the #1 person in the younger generation of the Jiang family. Jiang Junxian shook his head and said, Not only him, but the others also think so they will use my blood to exchange with him, who is poisoned, to let me give him the chance to survive. But they didn't expect me to survive. Ha! Jiang Junxian. Han Miao Shuang looked at him. At that time, there was a rumor in the Jiang clan that you were poisoned, and there was no cure. You died not long after. So, how did you survive? You don't have to ask. Kong Junshul did not intend to answer this question because the process of surviving was too painful and the price he had to pay was too great. He did not want to think about it anymore. I'm guessing that the organization behind you saved you, Sima Yue said. Jiang Junxian looked at Sima Yue and said, Little junior brother, you're really smart. If possible, I really don't want to be your enemy. Then don't make me your enemy. Sima Yue continued. In your words, you've been their senior for so many years. The days I spent with all of you were indeed the most relaxing and comfortable I've ever lived since I survived. Unfortunately, those were the days I borrowed. Or, I got it by borrowing the identity of the person I hate the most. When he spoke of his brother, his voice was a little hoarse, and there was an uncontrollable pain in it. Jiang Junxian, let me ask you this. Has it been you all these years? Han Miao Shuang asked. Su Xiao Xiao also stared straight at him. It seemed that he was also very nervous about this answer. Kong Junshul was caught when he left the Jiang family to participate in the alchemy competition. He didn't even participate in that competition at all. Jiang Junxian said, However, with his talent, I think Su Jin won't take a fancy to him. So you're saying that it's been you all along? Han Miao Shuang said, Master's disciple from the beginning was you, that's right. I hope that when he finds out about this, he won't be too sad. Jiang Junxian said, However, I don't know if he can live to hear this news. If he knows, I'm afraid that he will regret not discovering anything for so many years. He won't be sad. Sima Yue said confidently, and he won't regret it. Jiang Junxian looked at her and smiled. He did not believe her words. Do you think that with Master's intelligence, he really didn't find out? Sima Yue asked back. Little junior brother, you're saying that Master knows? Impossible. If he found out, he wouldn't keep quiet. Jiang Junxian did not believe it. Master knew long ago. Sima Yue said, he didn't say anything because the disciple he accepted from the beginning was you. The disciple he accepted was a person and not the identity of the Jiang family's young master. Even if you approached him with a motive, he didn't blame you. Jiang Junxian heard what she said, and his body trembled slightly. Impossible. He never said anything. He still did not believe it. Do you know what Master told me before? What? No matter what identity we have, we are his disciples. We are people that he has acknowledged. If we didn't do anything to bring disaster to the world, we would always be his disciples. He said that a teacher for a day is a father for life. He will protect me and you all. He also said that eldest senior brother has suffered a lot. If you do anything in the future, as long as it's not something evil, we should tolerate you. Sima Yue said, that Jiang family's young master probably didn't suffer much, right? Tell me, if Master didn't know, would he say that? Jiang Junxian was a little dizzy from these words and subconsciously grabbed the crystal coffin. When did he say this to you? Not long after I came in. Sima Yue said, no matter what identity you have, he will treat you as his disciple. But if you bring the Sky Splitter Devil Sword out today, you will personally cut off your relationship as master and disciple. Eldest senior brother, do you really want to do this? Jiang Junxian lowered his head and looked at the Sky Splitter Devil Sword in the crystal coffin. His eyes flashed with a moment of struggle. One of my missions is to get the Sky Splitter Devil Sword. For it, I hid in the outer area and entered the sect. I finally got the specific information from the ancient books in the sect. However, this happened before I even started to act. It just so happened that it saved me a lot of trouble. You knew from the start that the Sky Splitter Devil Sword was in the outer area. Han Miao Shuang said with certainty. You were using Master and us from the start. It can't be considered as using. Jiang Junxian said, I just borrowed an identity to enter the inner sect. I didn't do anything to hurt you. Eldest senior brother, are you really going to bring the Sky Splitter Devil Sword out? Su Xiao asked with a solemn face. Xiao, you have already asked this question 3 times. Jiang Junxian said, no matter how many times you ask me, I won't change my mind. What if we risk our lives to stop you? Jiang Junxian stretched out his index finger and shook it, saying, I know your temperament, so I stopped this from happening from the start. Hearing his words, everyone's hearts sank. They all had a bad premonition. He took out a white fat ball and crushed it. A faint fragrance wafted out. When everyone smelled this fragrance, they felt their chests tighten. They lost all strength and collapsed to the ground one after another. They wanted to mobilize their spirit energy, but found that they couldn't. Sima Yue sensed it. This thing actually blocked her connection with the spirit pagoda. Chapter 813. 10 Fragrant Powder. Han Miao Shuang was paralyzed on the ground. Her expression changed when she thought of what Jiang Junxian took out. 10 fragrances powder? What's that? Kong sang he could guess what it was, but he still asked. It's an extremely potent tendon-softening powder. Even a monarch-level expert would feel powerless and unable to use spiritual power after consuming it. Not only that, it also has an effect on divine sense. It will cut off the connection with the spatial container. Han Miao Shuang explained, this is a poison that only a few forces in the inner regions have. Sima Yue finally understood why her connection with the spirit pagoda was cut off. I knew you would recognize it. Jiang Junxian said, when did you poison us? Han Miao Shuang asked, wasn't it just now? No, that was just a primer. Han Miao Shuang said, the 10 fragrance powder needs to be planted by someone first, then activated with a primer. If you don't use a primer, it will dissipate after 10 days in the body. Therefore, if they didn't stop him, he didn't intend to fall out with them. It was when we were looking at the portrait in the house. Sima Yue said, Didn't we smell a faint fragrance at that time? That should be the smell of the 10 fragrance powder. That's right. Jiang Junxian flicked his sleeves and ignored them. He lowered his head to look at the sky splitter devil sword. I thought it was just a legend. I didn't expect it to actually exist. Wearing silk gloves, he stroked the crystal coffin, not in a hurry to get it. You've been sleeping for so long that only a part of your demonic nature is left. You need fresh blood to awaken. He looked at the person on the ground and came to Shimin Feng's side, wanting to capture him to sacrifice to the heavens. Don't touch him, Sima Yue shouted. Jiang Junxian turned his head to look at her. Her expression had never been so serious. Her eyes looked at him like this, telling him of her firmness. If he dared to touch Shimin Feng, she would definitely risk her life to kill him. You want to kill me? Jiang Junxian saw the murderous aura in her eyes. His eyes were filled with hostility. He couldn't help but tighten his grip on Shimin Feng's hand. You know how much effort I put into saving him, and you know how important he is to me. Sima Yue said, if you dare to kill him, I'll make sure you die with him. If you don't kill him, I won't kill you either. After all, I still call you eldest senior brother. Jiang Junxian's emotions were calmed down by the words eldest senior brother. He looked at Shimin Feng for a while and then threw him to the ground. Shimin Feng was mobilizing the aura within his body. Although this aura had been refined by him at that time, he could still use it now. Although it was very strenuous, if he wanted to kill him, he would use that aura to resist. She didn't expect him to let her go so easily. Jiang Junxian glanced at Kong, saying Yi. He wanted to grab her, but he stopped after taking 2 steps. He returned to the side of the crystal coffin, bent over to pick up the sky splitter, and carefully observed it in front of him. The sharp blade reflected a cold light in the dim light. It landed on his face, causing a chill to rise from the bottom of his heart. However, that chill couldn't extinguish the fanaticism in his eyes. He seemed to see himself standing at the top of the world, holding the sky splitter in his hand and being worshipped by thousands. He quickly put the sky splitter down, and the image disappeared. What a powerful devil sword. Although it's been so many years, just looking at it makes one's heart surge. He bent over to pick up the scabbard and put the sky splitter in. That evil aura was completely sealed. This devil sword has such a strong demonic nature. Jiang Junxian, you can't take it out. Han Miaoshuang said. Jiang Junxian took off the silk gloves. When he heard Han Miaoshuang's words, he placed the sword at her throat. If you say it again, I'll use you as a sacrifice. Even with the scabbard, Han Miaoshuang could still feel the chill. However, she wasn't afraid. You won't. If you want to kill us, you won't use the 10 fragrances powder. She looked at Jiang Junxian. Although you don't hide your aura anymore and your whole person has changed, you're still the person who lived with us for decades. You won't kill us. You are much smarter than you usually look. Jiang Junxian retracted his sword, which made everyone's worried hearts relax again. Jiang Junxian, I have a question to ask you. Sima Yu said. Ask while I'm in a good mood. Jiang Junxian touched the sky splitter. He liked it very much, but he didn't unsheath it easily. Is the Qi spirit related to the power behind you? Sima Yu asked. No, really? Of course. Jiang Junxian didn't bother to lie. I didn't know about this before I came to Violet Water Swamp. I didn't even think about it before I saw those Qi spirits. So, at that time, you really just came with me? More or less. Jiang Junxian didn't admit or deny it. At that time, he had indeed come to protect her. However, only he knew the deeper reason behind his actions. All right, now it's my turn to ask you a question. He kept the sky splitter and squatted beside Sima Yu. He asked, where's little 7? Even if I know, I won't tell you. Sima Yu didn't expect him to mention little 7 at this time. Fortunately, little 7 was still in Spirit Pagoda and didn't come out. Why are you asking about little 7? Han Miaoshuang didn't know what Jiang Junxian was thinking. Naturally, I want to bring her back. Jiang Junxian said. Bring her back? She's a student of the sect. Student. Jiang Junxian stood up. Is the Eye of Earth considered a student? Eye of Earth? Why? You don't know that little 7 is the Eye of Earth. Jiang Junxian raised his eyebrows. It seemed that the sect did a good job of keeping secrets. But looking at Yu, she should know the inside story. My other mission is to bring the Eye of Earth back. Jiang Junxian said. Little junior brother, hand little 7 over. Little 7 isn't here. Sima Yu denied flatly. If you want to find her, go to the sect. I think you know better than anyone whether little 7 is in the sect or not. Jiang Junxian stood up and said, Actually, with the Sky Splitter, I can already go back and submit the mission. I'm not interested in the Eye of Earth. It doesn't matter if she's there or not. Today, I'll let her go because we're from the same sect. But I still have to report your information without any reservation. Sima Yu was surprised. She thought that he would definitely investigate little 7's whereabouts. She didn't expect him to just mention it. He didn't really intend to snatch little 7. But since he didn't intend to snatch little 7, why did he mention her? I really didn't want to take your lives today. After all, we've lived together for a while. The 10 fragrance powder won't last for a few days. You'll be fine after a few days. Jiang Junxian finished speaking and stepped over her body, preparing to leave. Wait. Chapter 814. The following is provided for you. 814. Please enjoy. Yu called out to him. Jiang Junxian turned around and looked at her. Leave Master's life, Jade. Sima Yu said, Master will definitely not agree to you bringing the Sky Splitter Devil Sword out today. I think you won't have the heart to care about Master's life and death. So leave Master's life, Jade. Jiang Junxian lowered his eyes, blocking the emotions in his eyes. With a thought, 2 life jade appeared in his hands. Because he was still alive, the life jade was still warm. He threw one of the life jade to Sima Yu. They couldn't move now, so they didn't know if it was Su Jin's life jade. I will report little 7's situation when I go back this time. They will definitely send people to snatch it. Tell her to stay in the sect and not come out. You better not be with her. After Jiang Junxian finished speaking, he strode out of the ice room, leaving a group of people lying on the ground. Su Xiao and Han Miao Shuang didn't speak. They stared blankly at the ceiling, feeling depressed. Sima Yi was thinking about something and didn't speak either. Kong Sengyi and Shimin Feng thought about what they went through and were in a bad mood, so they didn't disturb them. After a while, Han Miao Shuang let out a long sigh and said, Xiao, junior brother, we were betrayed by that bastard Jiang Junxian. Mum, Sima Yu replied. Su Xiao still didn't move. Xiao, are you very sad? Han Miao Shuang said hatefully. That Jiang Junxian, don't let me see him. Otherwise, I will beat him up every time I see him. I will beat you up until your parents can't recognize you. It's the first time I've been attacked from behind. Am I not the same? Sima Yi was also depressed. She trusted Jiang Junxian so much and was touched by his concern for her. But she didn't expect him to do this behind her back. Xiao. Han Miao Shuang saw that Su Xiao didn't respond and called out twice. Su Xiao answered softly, but her voice was filled with disappointment. Xiao, don't be sad. Let's just take it that we've fed all these years to the dogs. Let's just pretend that we've never lived with such a person all these years. Han Miao Shuang persuaded Su Xiao, but as she spoke, her tears fell first. Senior sister. Su Xiao's voice was a little hoarse, as if it didn't come from his throat. He was also in a daze, still unable to recover from the news he had heard today. Sima Yu sighed again and said, Don't be so sad. Eldest senior brother actually remembers our friendship. If he remembered, he wouldn't have given us the 10 fragrances powder. To think that I've always treated him like family. Now that I think about it, it's really sad. The more Han Miao Shuang spoke, the sadder she became. Her tears couldn't stop. He remembered. That's why he chose to use the 10 fragrances powder. Sima Yu said. He used the 10 fragrances powder to take the demon's sword out. Han Miao Shuang said, How could it be? Because he remembers our friendship. Because he doesn't want to fight with us. Sima Yu said, He doesn't want to fight with us, so he poisoned us? Sima Yu rolled her eyes. She was usually quite smart. How could her brain be bent now? Senior sister, think about it. If he wants to take the demon sword out, and we're all fine, what will happen? She asked. Naturally, we'll have to stop him. Han Miao Shuang said without thinking. He's determined to take it out, and we'll have to stop him. What will happen? The answer was self-evident. Naturally, they would fight, and it would most likely be a life and death battle. Su Xiao and Han Miao Shuang didn't speak. Both of them had thought of this. And what's the effect of the 10 fragrances powder? Yu asked. It will make people weak and their consciousness will be damaged. But it can be recovered after a period of recuperation. So, tell me, why did he poison us? Sima Yue said, if you want to say that he poisoned us because he wanted to snatch it, then he better kill us after he succeeded. That way, the news of him obtaining the demon sword won't leak out. But he didn't. He didn't even hurt them. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao were silent. But Su Xiao's breathing wasn't as depressed, and Han Miao Shuang's tears weren't as heavy. Outside the passage, Jiang Jun Xian silently turned and left. A faint and lazy smile hung on his lips. She really understood him. This made him very happy. But there was one thing she didn't think of. He wanted to bring the Sky Splitter back for a very important reason. That was, he didn't want to bring Little Seven back. Unfortunately, they wouldn't know this reason. He came to the courtyard and looked at the life jade in his hand. He sighed and kept the life jade. Then he took out a boundary-breaking talisman and forcefully tore an opening in the little realm. He flew out. The moment he left, Sima Yue seemed to have sensed it. Strange, why do I feel like I sensed it? She muttered in her heart. I say, Kong Sengyi broke their silence. How long will the effects last? Until the effects of the drug wear off. We can only lie here? Not long. We'll be fine after lying here for 8 to 10 days. Han Miao Shuang said. 8 to 10 days? Kong Sengyi cried out, it's so cold here. We can't use spirit energy to resist. If we lie here for 8 to 10 days, won't we be half dead? So we have to think of a way to save ourselves. Sima Yue said. We've lost contact with the interspatial ring. How can we find a way? Kong Sengyi said. Wait, it'll be fine. Sima Yue felt the effects of the medicine in her body spreading quickly. The divine devil body was expelling the poison for her. At this speed, she would be able to move in 2 days. 2 days later, Sima Yue finally connected with the spirit pagoda. She had some strength in her body. She took out a pill and forced herself to eat it. Then, she struggled to get up. But because her body was still weak, she bumped into the crystal coffin. She didn't know what crystal this crystal coffin was made of. It was very hard. Her head was injured and fresh blood dripped onto the coffin. Yue, are you okay? I'm fine. Sima Yue used her hand to touch the blood on her forehead and casually wiped it on the coffin. Then, she supported herself to everyone's side and fed them the pills one by one. I don't know if this thing is useful, but the principle of paralysis is similar. This thing shouldn't be bad. After doing all this, Sima Yue felt a little weak. She leaned against the crystal coffin and sat down. She was in a daze. Her consciousness felt like it was flying. Yue, how is it? Do you like it here? In a daze, an unfamiliar male voice sounded beside her ear. It was filled with endless love. Sima Yue tried her best to open her eyes. When did she come to an unfamiliar place? Was it an illusion again? I love my academy. Actively cooperate with this special campaign to combat obscene and pornographic information on the internet. Thank you, everyone. Chapter 8:15. The following is provided for you. 8:15. Please enjoy. She tried hard to recognize her surroundings, but her body was not under her control. Yu, why are you in a daze? That man hugged her from behind and rubbed his head against her neck. It was a very familiar and sentimental snuggling. He was clearly a stranger, and she didn't even know what he looked like. Why would she let him hug her and feel that he was familiar? Kanglin, where did you get this? Are you saying that you don't have to do so many things for me? The woman's voice was as intoxicating as an Oriole's, but her words carried dissatisfaction and coldness. Sima Yue was shocked. She called him Kanglin. Could it be that the man behind her was Great Emperor Kanglin? Although she was in this body, she wasn't the one who said that. She was in someone else's body. You. Kanglin sighed and turned her body around. Yua finally saw his appearance when the two of them faced each other. What a refined and handsome man. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart. However, why are his eyes similar to Mo Shaw's? They also look similar. Yu, for you, I'm willing. Kanglin's eyes were filled with faint sorrow and determination. As long as you like it, I'm willing to do anything. Yu reached out to caress his face, her fingers sliding between his eyebrows. She sighed. You and I are of different races, so we can't be together. Why do you have to do this? As long as we love each other. So what if we're of different races? Kanglin held her hand. I know you also like me, right? Yu was silent, but Yue could feel her love, struggle, and hesitation. There was also a deep sorrow in her heart. She liked him, but she couldn't be with him. Was it because of her identity? Kanglin, you know that I was originally a Black Lotus at the foot of the 9th Underworld Mountain. I came to the human realm with a mission. After the mission is completed, I must return to the ghost realm. At that time, we will still have to part ways. Why endure the pain of eternal separation because of a moment of greed? I don't know what will happen in the future. I only know that as long as we love each other, every moment together will be forever. Yu, I love you. A Black Lotus at the foot of the 9th Underworld Mountain? Isn't the 9th Phantom Mountain the legendary Divine Mountain of the Ghost Realm? Could it be that it wasn't just a legend, but something that really existed? Emolian. She thought of the painting on the entrance of the little realm. There was a Black Lotus growing in the river. The woman that the Azure Great Emperor liked back then was actually a Black Lotus. Before she could digest this news, the scenery suddenly changed. The scene she was in kept changing, and it was almost all bits and pieces of the two of them. Yue was in Yu's body, watching them interact with each other. She was happy, sad, sweet, and disappointed with her. Looking at Songlan's and Mo Sha's similar eyes, she couldn't help but think of Mo Sha sometimes. If it was Mo Sha, would he do such a thing? Would he say such a thing? Yu! Kanglin suddenly shouted, pulling Yue back from her thoughts. She looked up and saw the sky splitter devil sword coming closer and closer through her eyes. Poof! The sky splitter pierced through Yu's body. She held the devil's sword in one hand and attacked her opponent with the other. She hit his chest and directly took his life. Yu! Kanglin flew over and hugged her body. Black blood flowed all over him. Yu, don't be afraid. I'll heal you right now. You'll be fine. He said comforting words, but his body was trembling nonstop. Yu grabbed his hand and wanted to stroke his face with her other hand, but she didn't have the strength to continue. Kanglin grabbed her hand and pressed it against his face. When she touched his face, a smile finally appeared on her face. Kanglin, Yu opened her mouth, and black blood flowed out from the corner of her mouth. Yu, don't speak. Kanglin saw the blood flowing out of her mouth and stopped her loudly. Yu, don't speak. I beg you. A tear fell from the corner of Yu's eyes. Seeing him on the verge of collapse, she also felt terrible. But there were some things that she still had to say. Kanglin, don't be sad. You know that those who are killed by the sky splitter can't survive. She tried to smile at him, but this smile looked so bleak. Yu, I will find a way. I will definitely save you. Kanglin's tears also fell. Don't waste your energy. The sky splitter kills the body and soul. No one can survive. Yu spat out another mouthful of blood. Actually, it doesn't make a difference whether you save me or not. Even if I survive, I will return to the ghost realm. I will still have to part with you. Rather than being separated in life and missing each other forever, it's better to part in death and forget each other. No, I don't want to forget you. I won't forget you. We will always be together. Kanglin hugged her, wanted to warm her cold body. Kanglin, to be able to meet and fall in love with you is the greatest happiness in my life. I originally wanted to leave my soul to accompany you. Yu lowered her head and looked at the sky splitter that was still in her abdomen. Unfortunately, the sky splitter doesn't allow it. The souls of those who are killed by it will dissipate. I'm sorry, I can't accompany you. I won't let your body and soul dissipate. Kanglin wanted to pick her up and bring her for treatment, but she held him down. She shook her head weakly. Kanglin, don't waste your energy. It's useless. Why don't you use this time to accompany me? I don't want to leave in a miserable state. Stay with me, okay? Sima Yu saw Kanglin's tears and snot flowing down. That look was really ugly. Rather than returning to that dark place, I prefer this. Leaving in your arms, with you sending me off. Yu smiled faintly. Yu, I will always be with you. I know. I believe in you. Yu retracted her hand and placed it on the sky splitter. I also want to be with you, but in the end, I can't. I want to do something before I die. What else do you want to do? I'll help you. You can't help me. Yu looked at him reluctantly. I know, you really want to destroy this demon sword. You have enough strength now, but you don't want it to continue harming the world. I'll help you seal it. When you break through to the Emperor rank, you will definitely be able to destroy it. I can seal it for tens of thousands of years. I believe that at that time, you will definitely become an Emperor rank. Yu, what are you going to do? Kanglin grabbed her hand in a panic, not letting her do anything. Yu pulled out her hand and held the sky splitter. She glanced at him one last time, wanting to engrave his appearance deeply in her mind. After I leave, you have to live well. Ugh, she spat out another mouthful of blood and felt her life rapidly slipping away. She had no choice but to push Kanglin away and stand up. After pulling out the sky splitter, she stabbed it into her own heart. With my body, the god of sealing, the god of the 9 underworlds, lend me your divine might. Seal, I love my academy. Actively cooperate with the special action to combat obscene and pornographic information on the internet. Thank you, everyone. Chapter 8:16. As her words fell, Yu's body emitted a black light. She spread out her arms and slowly rose into the air, stopping when she was 30 feet above the ground. The black whirlwind spun around her. She closed her eyes tightly. Her black hair danced in the wind, and her long dress fluttered in the wind. Kanglin wanted to rush up, but was blocked by a force that prevented him from approaching. Sima Yu felt as though she was being torn apart by a force along with Yu. Her entire body was in unbearable pain. But even if it was so painful, Yu did not cry out. Outside, Kanglin was already distressed and blaming himself. His face was covered in tears and snot. Yu would have laughed if it wasn't the wrong time. She could feel the energy in her body flowing away quickly, all of it pouring into the sky splitter devil sword. In the end, her body turned into specks of black light and merged into the sky splitter. Yu's consciousness also blurred. The last sentence she heard before she fell into darkness was Kanglin's roar. I won't let your soul scatter. When Sima Yu woke up, her face was covered in tears. She did not know why she was crying. The people and things inside were clearly not her, but she still felt sad, and her tears flowed uncontrollably. Only now did she understand that it wasn't that Imperial Emperors couldn't destroy the Sky Splitter Devil Sword, but that after Songlan became an Imperial Emperor, he wasn't willing to destroy the Sky Splitter anymore. That was because her flesh and blood had fused into the Sky Splitter. That was the place where she had placed her body. He could not destroy the only thought she had left behind. That was why he imprisoned the Sky Splitter here. It was indestructible and indestructible. He left a trace of his soul to accompany it, just like he was accompanying her. That faintly discernible call once again rang in her ears, causing her to feel a heart-wrenching pain. She hugged her knees with both hands and buried her head in her knees, crying incessantly. Sima Yu felt as though there was someone beside her. He caressed her black hair gently. She raised her head and looked at the person who looked similar to the one in the picture. Kanglin. She couldn't help but call out. You're back. I've finally waited for you. Kanglin held her face and said with a smile. Although his appearance was much older than before, his eyes were still as affectionate as before and did not change with the passage of time. Kanglin, Yua called out again. Her tone was the same as Yu's. She felt that this was not her voice. I thought I had failed and I wouldn't be able to wait for you anymore. Kanglin pulled her up and hugged her, resting his head on her head. Sima Yue felt her brain heating up. She wrapped her arms around his waist and snuggled into his arms sweetly. Suddenly, she felt a chill in her heart. Mo Sha's aura rushed into her brain, causing her muddled mind to clear up. She let go of him and stepped back, leaving his arms. Yu, what happened to you? Song Lan lowered his head and looked at her with hurt in his eyes. Sima Yue looked at him and said, I'm sorry, I'm not your Yue. I'm called Yue, Sima Yue. I know what your name is, but you are my Yue, the Yue I've waited for so many years. Kanglin said, I think you're mistaken. Sima Yue shook her head. I'm a human, not Mo Lien from the 9 Underworlds mountain. You are. Kanglin caressed her face and slowly stroked her brows, just like how Yu caressed her back then. You are Yu. I know you've returned. But shoo. Kanglin placed a finger on her lips. I read your memories. I know everything you want to say. You know. Kanglin nodded. I woke up from the moment you entered here, so I know everything about you. I also know him. His hand moved down from her face to her wrist and caressed the devil snare bracelet. Sima Yue was alarmed. It was Mo Sha who helped her recover just now, but he actually knew. He was a human sovereign, while Mo Sha was the devil king of the devil world. Could he? Don't worry, I won't harm him. Kanglin said, I won't harm myself. Yourself? Sima Yue was a bit puzzled, but then she stared at him with wide eyes. You're saying, Kanglin smiled faintly, scaring her. I'm already very happy to be able to wait for you before I disappear. But when I think of leaving you again, I feel very sad. What should I do? Sima Yue saw his sorrowful eyes and couldn't bring herself to say that she wasn't Yu. After a moment of silence, she asked the question in her heart. How did your soul survive until now after so many years? Sealed, Kanglin said. When I discovered that you had completely disappeared, I sealed myself and waited for you to return. Because I seal myself, even though millions of years have passed, I am still here. Then you said you were going to disappear. This seal can help me avoid time, but it will vanish like smoke after the seal is removed. And the way to remove the seal is to use your blood to open the door to the small realm. Sima Yue didn't know what to say. In order to wait for his beloved, he actually chose this kind of method, sealing himself for millions of years, waiting for millions of years, just so that he could see her again. Although the person he was waiting for wasn't her, she was still moved by his deep affection. You are her, but also not her. Although your constitution is very special, it hasn't been fully developed yet, so your current situation is a bit dangerous. Kanglin said, Unfortunately, there isn't enough time. He placed his hand on her shoulder. Her clothes turned to ashes bit by bit, leaving only a small doo-doo to cover her. Sima Yue didn't expect that he would suddenly destroy her clothes. Before she could say anything, she felt a presence enter her body, following which her back suddenly burned. That feeling was exactly the same as when she saw Mo Lien. Kanglin walked behind her. Only 2 thin ribbons encircled her flawless back, making it even more alluring. He stared straight at her beautiful back, watching as a black lotus slowly emerged on her back. Its long stem extended all the way below her waist, its 9 petals delicate and charming. That appearance was exactly the same as Mo Lien on the small realm's door. As Kanglin watched Mo Lien emerge bit by bit, the grief in his eyes intensified. He reached out to caress each petal, as if caressing his beloved. You have a Yu clan's bloodline in your body. Sima Yue didn't know how long the burning on her back lasted. She only felt that the bone-chilling pain was about to annihilate her. Just as she was about to collapse, an icy chill brushed away the burning pain, and his words made her suspicious. She had Mo Lien's bloodline in her body? Only those who possess her bloodline can bear her soul, Kanglin continued. Chapter 817. When Sima Yue heard this, she felt that he had made a mistake again. She explained, "Actually, I am not the soul of this body." "I know." "You know." Sima Yue turned around in surprise. "Then why did you say that I am?" "Sometimes the body and soul aren't the most perfect combination. In the cycle of heavenly Tao, there are all kinds of karma. The current you is the complete you." Azure C said, "The complete me?" Sima Yue was stunned. "So you're saying that I didn't enter this body by chance, but by fate?" "Maybe, maybe not." Kanglin said, "Looking at it now, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that the black lotus in your body must only appear when your soul and physical body combine." Her soul was inextricably linked to that black lotus from millions of years ago, and this body had the blood of the black lotus's descendants flowing through it. It was only because of the combination of the two that this pattern appeared on her back. She took out a robe and put it on to prevent her body from being exposed further. "What is the use of this pattern?" Kanglin shook his head. "I don't know either. I only know that this is good for suppressing your physique. Perhaps only Yu would know what it is used for." "Oh, this little realm is already yours. I think you know how to refine and control it." Azure C asked. Sima Yue nodded. Song Lan caressed her cheeks again. "Yu, I'm leaving. Although I'm no longer here, I'll continue to protect you in the future." Sima Yue looked at him and saw the reluctance in his eyes. She suddenly felt a sharp pain in her heart. Her tears fell and wet his palm. "To be able to see you cry for me before I disappear, I'm already satisfied." Kanglin wiped away her tears. "The soul of the person in the bracelet is too weak. I'm also about to dissipate. Why don't I give my strength to him and let him protect you for me?" "Kanglin, meeting you in this life, I have no regrets." As Kanglin spoke, his soul turned into specks of starlight that danced around her before flying into the devil's snare bracelet. Mo Sha saw Song Lan's soul enter and relaxed his body, allowing all of his soul particles to enter his body. Then he began to digest the power he brought. At this time, Sima Yue was still in a vast expanse of white and had yet to leave. She first changed her clothes before carefully sizing up the place. This was the place she was at after coming out of the illusion. It should be an unopened area of the little world. Kanglin didn't tell her how to leave. She didn't know how long she had left that cellar. If Shimin Feng and others saw that she hadn't returned for a long time, she didn't know whether they would be worried about her. Could it be that I have to refine this little realm? With a thought, a small and exquisite door appeared in her hand. The painting was still on the door. "This is the key to opening this small realm." She sighed emotionally as she looked at Mo Lian on the door. "If you had been cultivating at the foot of the 9th underworld mountain, would the things that happened later not have happened?" He said he wouldn't regret it. "You should be the same, right?" Mo Lian on the door didn't reply. She sighed and said, "Little door, I'm your master now. Take me away from this place and return to where I came from." The scene in front of her changed, and she really returned to the cellar. But other than the crystal coffin, there was no one else. She walked to the coffin. Without the Sky Splitter Devil Sword, it was empty inside. You used her body to seal the Sky Splitter Devil Sword, so she didn't have a corpse at all. This crystal coffin buried the Sky Splitter Devil Sword and her. She didn't see Shimin Feng and the others. She sensed and immediately knew where they were. She walked out of the ice room, and Shimin Feng happened to be in the courtyard. Seeing her come out, he immediately ran over. "Where did you go? We were worried to death." "I'm fine," Sima Yue said. Kong Sangyi and Han Miao Shuang heard the commotion and flew back. "Little junior brother, are you all right?" Han Miao Shuang walked over and pulled Sima Yue over to look at her. She only relaxed after making sure she was fine. "Senior sister, I'm fine." "Fine? You changed your clothes. How can you be fine?" Han Miao Shuang said. "Where did you go? Why did you suddenly disappear from the ice room?" "That's right. Everyone was shocked when they saw you suddenly disappear. We couldn't move at that time. We were worried to death." Kong Sangyi said. "Little junior brother, where did you go?" Su Xiao asked. "I think I've been brought to an illusory realm." Sima Yue told them what she saw. But she only said what she saw in Yu Yu's body. She didn't say anything about encountering the azure waves. Kong Sengyi heard, and his eyes lit up. He hugged his chest and exclaimed, "Heavens, you witnessed an ancient love story with your own eyes. It's so magical." "Then did you see the azure waves, Emperor?" "I saw him," Sima Yue said. "He was also an illusion. Naturally, he saw it. What kind of person is he?" "You've actually met the Imperial Emperor. Don't they look the same as us?" "What's the Emperor's aura like?" Han Miaoshuang pulled her hand excitedly. "The one I saw wasn't the Emperor. Naturally, he didn't have the majesty of the Emperor," Sima Yue said. "But there's one thing I can say for sure. The people at that time looked the same as the people now. They both have a pair of eyes, a nose, and a mouth." "Sigh. Why can you see them, but we can't?" Han Miaoshuang sighed. "If only we could see it too. If we could touch the Emperor's aura, we might become an emperor." Sima Yue couldn't be bothered with this love-struck person. She said to Shimin Feng and the others, "How long have I disappeared?" "More than 10 days. Shimin Feng said. More than 10 days, including the time they spent in the tomb. They had been here for almost a month. "I didn't expect us to be here for so long." She sighed. "Even if we go out now, we don't know where eldest senior brother went. Maybe he already took the sky splitter and left the outer region." "He must have left the outer region," Han Miaoshuang said. "He should have returned to the inner region and handed the sky splitter over. The sky splitter is born. There will definitely be a bloody storm in the world." Su Xiao still couldn't let go of Jiang Junxian's actions. "Since we've already taken it out, there's no use regretting it now. The most important thing now is to go back to the sect and tell them about the sky splitter," Sima Yue said. We should go out," Han Miaoshuang said. "But did you bring the boundary-breaking talisman?" Everyone shook their heads. "Without the boundary-breaking talisman, how can we get out of this little realm?" "Let me do it." Sima Yue took out a small door and immediately attracted the attention of Kong Sengyi and Han Miaoshuang. Chapter 8:18. This is the door to the little realm. It's the one we saw before. Sima Yue explained. "Why is that door in your hands?" "Maybe my blood flowed onto the door," Sima Yue said. Kanglin only said that this little realm belonged to her and didn't say why. In addition, she seemed to have felt something when Jiang Junxian left. She guessed that the little realm might have been taken away when she came in. Is this even possible? If I knew earlier, I would have dripped my blood on it," Han Miaoshuang said regretfully. Sima Yue smiled and said nothing. But she thought that even if Han Miaoshuang did that, it might not work. Because according to Kanglin, her body and soul were related to this. "Yue, since this little realm is already yours, can you open other places?" Kong Sengyi asked. The area they could see now was too small, just around the mountain. But even at such a young age, they had obtained a lot of good things. Therefore, they thought that if they could open other places, there would definitely be a lot of treasures. "No," Sima Yue shook her head and said, "I can't control her now because the Azure Great Emperor refined the door to the little realm, and I just happened to form a contract with the door. But I haven't refined the little world yet, so it can't appear in other places." "So it's like this." Han Miaoshuang's eyes rolled twice. Then she grabbed Yu's hand and said, "Little junior brother, once you've refined it, if there are any good herbs inside, you have to share them with us." "No problem. But let's go out first." She held the small door, and with a thought, they appeared in the stone chamber of the central tomb. Yue looked at the place where the door used to be. The door had already disappeared, leaving behind only one wall, which was no different from the other walls. When she thought about what happened in the little realm, she sighed and said, "Let's go back." Han Miaoshuang and the others also thought of Jiang Junxian. They were a little depressed and said, "Let's go." They left the Violet Water Swamp and returned to Jialing City. Jingwon and Kong Valley's people were still waiting for them in the inn. "You're finally back. If you didn't come back, we would have gone to look for you. Why are you missing one person?" Jinghuan didn't see Jiang Junxian and asked casually. Eldest senior brother had something to do, so he left first. Sima Yue saw that Han Miaoshuang and the others didn't look too good, so she casually said, Could it be because of the incident outside the city? What event? 10 days ago, a small town outside of Jialing City was massacred. Jingwen said. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao Zhao's bodies shook and stiffened. A bloodbath? Sima Yue frowned. Yes, not a single one is left. Jingwen said, at first, everyone thought that the incident at Bright Red Mountain Peak had happened again, so they hurriedly informed the higher-ups. However, after someone came to take a look and said that it wasn't the work of the Ghost Clan, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. What are the characteristics of a corpse? Han Miao Shuang asked. They were all killed by a sword, but the strange thing was that there wasn't a single drop of blood in the entire town. Jingwen said, many powerful people stayed behind to investigate the cause, but they didn't find anything. Of course there wouldn't be any blood. The blood was all drunk by the Sky Splitter. Yu thought to herself. Did something like this happen after that? Su Xiao asked. No, only that. Why? Didn't your eldest senior brother go to investigate this matter? Eldest senior brother left for some personal matters. Sima Yue said, since something like this happened, we should go back to the sect and let them know. That's right. Let's hurry back. Han Miao Shuang took out a one-time use array and placed it on the ground. The three of them stood in it. Kong Sengyi knew that this was a serious matter, so he didn't ask them to stay. He only said gratefully, Yu, thank you for this matter. You've helped us so many times. Kong Valley will remember this. If there's a chance in the future, we'll definitely repay you. All right, if there's anything in the future, I'll definitely look for you guys for help. Goodbye. Sima Yue glanced at Shimin Feng, activated the array, and left. Kong Sengyi waited for them to leave before he said to Jingwen, Are you guys done with your matters? It's done. Thank you for lending so many people to us. Jingwen said with a smile. Then I'll bring them back first. Kong Sengyi stood up and walked 2 steps before he turned back and said, Oh right, you did these things behind the Jing clan's back. You have to be careful in the future. I know. Jingwen nodded. When they were outside, Shimin Feng pulled Kong Sengyi's hand. I'll send you back to the valley before coming back. I know you're worried about her. Actually, you don't have to send us back. Kong Sengyi said. The situation in the central regions has been too turbulent recently. It's better to send you back. Shimin Feng patted her head. Let's go. I'll go back after sending you back. All right. Sima Yue and the other two immediately used the temporary teleportation array to return to the sect. They didn't have time to return to Parting Garden, so they went straight to Mao Sanquan's office. Mao Sanquan was having a headache because of the 2 pieces of news. When he heard that Sima Yue and the others were back, he let them in and said to the people in the room, They're back. You can tell them. That person replied faintly with a slightly arrogant attitude. Sima Yue, Han Miao Shuang, and Su Xiao came in and bowed to Mao Sanquan. They looked up and saw a few people sitting at the side. Kong Junchul, Han Miao Shuang called out in surprise. Kong Junchul, who was dressed in white, frowned when he heard Han Miao Shuang call out his name. He looked at Han Miao Shuang with disgust and shouted, Who are you? How dare you call out my name directly? Sima Yue didn't like that man with a vicious aura. Now that he was scolding Han Miao Shuang, she was even angrier and said, What's wrong with calling your name? Don't tell me your name isn't meant to be called, but to be eaten by you? How dare you? Kong Junchul was mocked by Sima Yue and was enraged. He immediately released a flame. The orange flame was hot and violent. If it landed on a person, they would be burnt to ashes in a few seconds. Sima Yue squinted her eyes. It was another deviant flame. Kong Junchul, how dare you? Puchi, Han Miao Shuang shouted and released her deviant flame towards Kong Junchul's flame, blocking it in the middle. At the same time, Su Xiao released his green flame. The 2 flames directly suppressed Kong Junchul's flame until it couldn't move. Do you think you're the only ones with 2 flames? Kong Junchul snorted and released another blue flame. This flame was ranked higher. Su Xiao and Han Miao Shuang's flames couldn't block it. The blue flame went past them and flew towards Sima Yue. It was about to land on her. Sima Yue raised her right hand, and the blue flame stopped a few centimeters away from her. On her hand, a wisp of crimson flame twined around her fingertips. Chapter 819. Although you have the same appearance as eldest senior brother, you are still far from him. Sima Yue looked at Kang Junshul and said. She reached out her hand, and the blue flame was extinguished. The other 3 flames were also extinguished. Who are you? What kind of flame is that? Jiang Junzhe looked at Sima Yu. He couldn't believe that his flame was extinguished just like that. His blue enchantress was ranked in the top 30, but it couldn't even withstand a trace of her flames. Sima Yue kept little birdie and said, Who are you? Why should I tell you what my flame is? It was the same tone, a blatant slap to the face. Kang Junshul's face turned red, and the anger in his heart grew. He wanted to get up and make trouble for her, but he was stopped by a middle-aged man beside him. Young master, don't forget why we're here, Jiang Cheng reminded. Kang Junshul snorted coldly and did not continue to pester him. Mao Sanquan waited for them to quiet down before saying, You're back. Principal Fan has already told us about the Violet Water Swamp. This time, it was all thanks to you guys that we were able to avoid even greater losses. Since we're going, we naturally have to put in some effort. Han Miao Shuang said, I just don't know if the sect has found out which forces those people belong to. We have already passed down the order. We will definitely do our best to investigate. Mao Sanquan said, since the Academy had said that they would investigate, there was no need for them to worry about these things. Kang Junshul wasn't interested in their school's matters. He directly interrupted their conversation and said, Where's that scum? Jiang Junxian. Director Mao, this is... Sima Yue did not even bother to look at him. She did not even have the desire to talk to a person who felt good about himself and liked to compete with others. It's like this. Mao Sanquan said, This is the Jiang clan's young master, Kang Junshul. Your eldest senior brother is using his name. Now they've found him, saying that Jiang Junxian captured him and imprisoned him for many years. He was only recently rescued by the Jiang clan. Now he was looking for Jiang Junxian. Your master isn't here, so it's hard to say. Where is your eldest senior brother? Jiang Junxian left. Han Miao Shuang said, Gone? Kang Junshul jumped up. Didn't you go out together? Why did he leave? Don't tell me you're hiding him? Kang Junshul, are you stupid? Why would we hide him for no reason? Han Miao Shuang scolded back. If his identity wasn't exposed, would we not be surprised to see you? Besides, we went to the Violet Water Swamp and didn't contact the Academy. Who knew that you would come? Do you think we can predict the future? Do you think we are that old geezer divinator? You're the idiot. Han Miao Shuang, don't think that just because you're from the Han family, I won't dare to do anything to you. Your Han family no longer wants you. If it wasn't for Su Jin taking you in, you would be a stray dog sleeping on the streets. Boom! Su Xiaoxiao hit Kang Junshul with her spiritual power. Jiang Cheng, who was beside him, reacted quickly and blocked it with his spiritual power. The two spiritual powers collided in the air. Arrogant brat, a spiritual power hit them. The pressure of a monarch-ranked expert made them obediently stand there and watch the spiritual power hit them. Stop! Everything happened in a flash. Jiang Cheng and Sima Yue were too close to each other. Mao Sanquan didn't have time to stop them. He could only watch as the flame engulfed the 3 of them. After the flame passed, the 3 of them stood there unharmed. How can they be fine? Jiang Junxian looked at them in surprise. Spatial lock. Jiang Cheng stood up in surprise and looked at Sima Yue in disbelief. Mao Sanquan also looked at the 3 of them. He was surprised and surprised. Spatial lock. You actually know how to spatial lock. Sima Yue removed the spatial lock and looked at Jiang Cheng mockingly. When the spiritual power hit them, she sealed the space and let the power go around it, so the 3 of them didn't get hurt. Using such power on 3 students, the Jiang family is so magnanimous. Sima Yue said with a cold smile. Uncle Qing only attacked you because you attacked first and tried to sneak an attack on me. Kang Junshul came back to his senses. If he didn't insult my senior, will my senior attack you? Even if he did, it would be between the same generation. Why would he need to do it? Sima Yue said. You attacked first, and you still think you're in the right? You're bullying the weak, and you think you're in the right. Who's bullying the weak? Is there a need to say who? If you dare to slander my Jiang family again, I will— What are you going to do? Kill us? At this moment, Mao San Quan also came back to his senses. Seeing that both sides were at daggers drawn, he said, Yue, nephew Jiang, calm down. This is the academy. Don't treat this as a market. You wouldn't meet such uncultured idiots in a market. Sima Yue snorted. You. All right, Yue, you should stop talking. Mao San Quan said, Say, Kong Junshul. No, Jiang Junxian left. What's going on? Speaking of Jiang Junxian, the three people's mood fell again. What's wrong? Mao San Quan saw that their mood was not right and asked, Instructor Mao, we have something to tell you. Sima Yue said as she looked at Kong Junshul and the others. Her gaze was very obvious. It was not suitable for unrelated people to be here, so they should scram. That brat still wants to avoid us? Kong Junshul said unhappily. We're talking to the academy. Why are you listening? You have nothing to do with the academy. Since it's a secret of the academy, then please leave. Mao San Quan said. Instructor Mao, you can't say that. This Jiang Junxian has a grudge with our Jiang family. Your academy cannot protect him. Kong Junshul said. Kong Junshul, this is the heavenly sect, not your Jiang family. Mao San Quan said with a cold face. Instructor Mao, what's with your attitude? Kong Junshul said angrily. How can you? Zhe. Jiang Cheng pulled Kong Junshul and said to Mao San Quan, Since it's a matter of the academy, we won't disturb you. We'll come back tomorrow. I think by then, you'll have already agreed. Zhe, let's go. Uncle Cheng, let's go. Although Kong Junshul was the Jiang family's young master, he did not dare to go against Jiang Cheng's wishes and could only follow him. After the two of them left, Mao San Quan said, What happened? Your eldest senior, that Jiang Junxian, what's going on? Instructor Mao, have you heard of the Sky Splitter Sword? Sima Yue asked. Sky Splitter Devil Sword? Sima Yue nodded and said, The Sky Splitter Devil Sword was born. It was brought out by eldest senior. Chapter 820. Mao San Quan was shocked. What did you say? The Sky Splitter Devil Sword has appeared? Sima Yue shook her head and told him what had happened in the royal tomb. I see. No wonder you guys are so upset. Being betrayed by a fellow disciple that you have lived with for so many years is indeed a very sad thing. Mao San Quan said with a face full of sympathy. Sima Yue pursed her lips. Why did she feel that Director Mao had missed the point? Shouldn't he care about the birth of the Sky Splitter Devil Sword? Why was he talking about the reason why they were so upset? Could it be that the way she described it was wrong? Since it has already happened, don't be too sad. After all, he still remembered the friendship between fellow disciples, so he didn't kill you. Mao San Quan said. The three of them were stunned. Did they hear wrongly? Was he speaking up for Jiang Junxian? Director Mao, aren't you worried about the birth of the Devil Sword? Sima Yue asked curiously. I'm worried, but it's useless to worry now. Mao San Quan said, According to what you said, that demon sword doesn't have much demonic nature left. Even if it was born, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it will regain its magic sooner or later. Sima Yue said. I know. Mao San Quan said with a serious face. That's why I said that it's useless for us to worry now. Since there's no point in worrying, why don't we talk about the two of you? Sure enough, people in high positions thought differently from them. Then what about senior brother? Han Miaoshuang asked. He'll definitely be expelled from the academy. Mao San Quan said. It won't be long before the news of the appearance of the demon sword spreads throughout the entire continent. After all, this happened because of the academy, so we need to give everyone an explanation. We also guessed that this would be the outcome. Han Miaoshuang said. Although she knew that, she still had mixed feelings when she heard him say that. However, expelling us from the academy is the academy's business. Your master's actions are always unpredictable. Whether or not he will expel him from the academy is unknown. Mao San Quan continued. However, no matter what choice Su Jin makes, the Academy will not tolerate him. In the future, he is not allowed to take even half a step into the Academy. It doesn't matter to him whether he has it or not. Anyway, with his current identity, he won't be coming back. Sima Yue said. Director Mao, what about the Jiang family? Kong Junchul has been imprisoned for so many years and has only just been rescued. Naturally, he will want to seek revenge. Mao Xinquan said, anyway, Jiang Junxian isn't in our school right now, so we don't have to do anything. They can't do anything either. If you want her, go find that mysterious power. Instructor Mao, why do I see the shadow of my master on you? Han Miao Shuang said speechlessly. Sima Yue also wanted to ask, why didn't she notice Mao Xinquan's shameless nature in the past? At that time, she thought that he was quite old-fashioned. Is there? I think I'm better than your master, right? Mao Xinquan touched his chin and said narcissistically. The three of them were speechless. Narcissism was quite similar too. All right, I understand everything now. You must be tired after going through all this. Go back to the parting garden and rest. Leave the rest to us. Mao Xinquan waved his hand at them and said. Sima Yue and the rest bowed to Mao Xinquan and left. Mao Xinquan waited for them to leave and let out a long sigh. It's better to discuss with old Fan and the rest. Yu and the rest returned to the parting garden. Seeing the familiar environment, everyone's heart sank. There were many places where Jiang Junxian used to live. Now that they were back and saw these, it made them even sadder. Little junior brother, I miss Master. Han Miao Shuang said, where's Master's life jade? Sima Yue then remembered that she kept the life jade in the ice room. She quickly took it out, but everyone was stunned when they saw the name on it. This is Teacher Ji's life jade, Han Miao Shuang exclaimed softly. Sima Yue looked at the two words Golang and scolded. Jiang Junxian, that guy, gave us Teacher Ji's life jade and kept Master's. He already did such a thing. Why did he keep Master's life jade? Maybe he wants to know about Master's safety. Sima Yue guessed. But we won't know if that's the case. Han Miao Shuang said angrily. We still have a way. Sima Yue said. What way? Sima Yue kept Golang's life jade and said, Teacher Ge went in with Master. As long as Teacher Ji's life jade is still there, Master should be fine. Then you have to take good care of Teacher Ji's life jade. Don't let it break or anything. Tell us immediately if there's any news. Han Miao Shuang urged. I know. Sima Yue said, Sigh. If Master knows about this, I don't know how he'll react. He'll probably be hurt, right? Not necessarily. Han Miao Shuang said, although that guy approached Master with a motive and betrayed us, at least in the years we've been together, he didn't do anything to hurt us. She couldn't help but sigh when she thought about how he brought the Sky Splitter Devil Sword out. Sky Splitter Devil Sword. I don't know where it is now. At the same time, on a mountain peak in the Black Dragon Sect's Grand Hall, a man in blood-red clothes sat in the middle. The man wore a mask, and his appearance couldn't be seen clearly. But just from the aura he released, it was enough to make the people below submit from the bottom of their hearts. The two sides of the hall were filled with people. Everyone was called by the Palace Master to participate in this meeting. Jiang Junxian held the Sky Splitter Devil Sword and stood in the middle of the hall. He didn't panic because there were so many people, nor was he shocked by the Palace Master's aura. Jiang Junxian, when I saved you that day, you said that you could bring me enough value to your life. Now, are you here to prove your worth? The Palace Master sat on the throne. He seemed to be speaking casually, but it made people feel infinite pressure. That's right. Jiang Junxian nodded and said, I remember that I sent you to the Heavenly Sect to snatch the Eye of Earth. Now that you're back, have you already snatched the Eye of Earth back? The Palace Master asked. No. Jiang Junxian said. No. The Palace Master was very unhappy and lowered his aura. Then why did you come back? Because I brought back something more precious and powerful, something that the Palace Master wants more. The value of this thing is definitely above the Eye of Earth. Jiang Junxian looked straight at the Palace Master. Oh, what did you bring back? The value is actually higher than the Eye of Earth. I think that the Palace Master will feel more when he sees it with his own eyes. After speaking, he pulled the Sky Splitter Devil Sword out of the scabbard and let the Palace Master see the two words Sky Splitter Devil Sword on the blade. Chapter 821. Jiangjun Xian only pulled out a part of the Sky Splitter from the scabbard, allowing the Palace Master to see the Sky Splitter's name. VD. But even if only a small part of it was pulled out, everyone present felt a huge pressure. This is... The Palace Master stood up from his seat excitedly. His figure flashed and appeared in front of Jiangjun Xian. He wanted to reach out and grab the Sky Splitter, but Jiangjun Xian took a step back and let him grab the air. Not being able to obtain the Sky Splitter Devil Sword, his face darkened as he shouted, "Jiangjun Xian, what are you doing?" Jiangjun Xian inserted the Sky Splitter back, then offered it up with both hands, saying, "Palace Master, although the demonic nature of the Sky Splitter has been greatly reduced, the remaining power is still there. You cannot directly use your hands to hold it." Only then did the Palace Lord notice the silk gloves on his hands. With a thought, a pair of gloves appeared in his hand. After putting on the gloves, he went to take the Sky Splitter again. This time, Jiangjun Xian did not retreat and let him take it. Heaven-murdering divine sword. Heaven-murdering divine sword. Haha, it really is the heaven-murdering divine sword. He laughed loudly, and in his laughter, he seemed to see a foul wind and a rain of blood. A bloody person was now in a mountain of corpses. At this moment, he seemed to be the most powerful person in the world, killing everyone who opposed him. Those who followed him would prosper, and those who opposed him would perish. Ha ha ha! He laughed wildly, and the Sky Splitter in his hand trembled, following him to look down on the world. Kill! 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 The hoarse voice was filled with bewitchment. Jiangjun Xian saw that he had fallen into the illusion and laughed wildly. He stepped forward and grabbed his hand. With a strong grip, he pulled him out of the illusion. Hall Master, what'd I do just now? The Palace Lord looked at him with a sharp gaze. Palace Master was just confused by the Sky Splitter and had hallucinations. Jiangjun Xian said. The Palace Master was shocked. Even when wearing silk gloves, the first time you're not on guard, it's easy to fall for it. Jiangjun Xian said, "It was the same when I took it for the first time. What's more, it was still so weak back then. Now, it has recovered a little." "Ah, good, good." The Palace Master laughed as he walked back to his throne and raised the Sky Splitter in his hand high up. When the people below heard the Palace Master say the name Sky Splitter, they were very shocked. Some people even suspected that it was fake, but the Palace Master's reaction couldn't be fake. It meant that the sword was real. Congratulations, Palace Master, for obtaining the divine sword. Everyone congratulated in unison. Ha! Jun Xian, you've handled this matter beautifully. I want to give you a reward. Tell me, what do you want? Jun Xian doesn't dare to ask for rewards. Jiangjun Xian knelt down and looked at the Hall Master. My main mission was to sneak into the academy to find the Eye of the Earth, but I didn't complete it. Please punish me, Hall Master. Get up. The shopkeeper waved his hand, and Jiangjun Xian stood up from the ground. Although you didn't bring back the Earth's eye, you brought back the Sky Splitter Divine Sword, which is even more precious than that. His merits outweighed his faults, so he still needed to be rewarded. How about this? You will be promoted to the Right Emissary. From now on, you will listen to my orders directly. Thank you, Hall Master. Jiangjun Xian knelt in thanks. When the people below heard that Jiangjun Xian was directly promoted to the Right Emissary, some were surprised, some were unconvinced, and some were happy for him. Someone stood up and said, "Palace Master, the position of the Right Emissary is only below the Palace Master, the Vice Palace Master, and the 10 Divine Emissaries. Jiangjun Xian used to be the lowest disciple. Isn't it too fast to be promoted to the Right Emissary? I'm afraid the disciples in the sect will not be convinced." "Oh, who is not convinced?" The Palace Master waved his hand. "Whoever is not convinced can come to me." or whoever can bring back the ancient divine sword, I will also promote him to the right emissary. When he said this, everyone had nothing to refute, bringing back the ancient divine sword. And it was the divine sword that the sect had been looking for. This contribution would probably never be surpassed by anyone. That's right, I also think that if those people can bring back the ancient divine sword, Master can also promote them to the right emissary. A man standing at the bottom right of the palace master said, "Isn't it said that the sky splitter divine weapon, Ling Long, has a natural enemy? If anyone can bring back Ling Long, Master might promote him to the divine emissary. If you can't do it, then don't blindly compete here." The person who raised the objection was choked by his words. That's right, whoever can bring back the Ling Long divine weapon, I will make him the divine emissary. The palace master said with a laugh. Jiang Junxian looked gratefully at the person who spoke up for him, the palace master's disciple, Shi Qianji. Shi Qianji blinked at him. Palace master, this sky splitter divine sword is clearly recorded in the ancient books collected by my sect. Although it has been lost since ancient times, everyone knows that it did exist. However, this Ling Long divine weapon is not recorded in the ancient books. It is only mentioned in a sentence. I don't know if it is true or false. Whether it is true or false, you have to find it for me. It is better to believe it than not. If such a thing really exists, then Sky Splitter will have trouble in the future. The palace master ordered. Yes, palace master. The people below responded in unison. Palace master, I am more curious. This right emissary went to the heavenly sect to find the eye of the earth. Why did he bring back this divine sword in the end? I don't know how the right emissary got this sky splitter divine sword. And Junxian, I am also very curious. How did you get the divine sword? The palace master said, You can tell everyone the process. Actually, I have already found some information about the eye of the earth. Jiang Junxian said, and this divine sword was obtained by accident. It was because of this accident that forced me to expose my identity and give up the eye of the earth. What do you mean? Shi Qianji asked. I have been by Su Jin's side all these years. Recently, I found out that the eye of the earth has turned into a human form. However, because her whereabouts are mysterious, I have not seen her. Later, when I saw her, I was not sure of her identity. When I was sure of her identity, I had already found traces of the divine sword. Jiang Junxian said, Speak more carefully. The eye of the earth turned into a human form? Shi Qianji asked in surprise. Yes. Jiang Junxian told Little Seven's story from beginning to end. Then, he talked about what happened in the Violet Water Swamp. Because the eye of the earth has been missing since that battle, and the matter of the divine sword is imminent, I did not hesitate to expose my identity and bring the divine sword back. Jiang Junxian said, Sima Yue. The palace master muttered this name. After thinking for a while, the people below did not dare to speak loudly. Junxian, what do you think of this person? It is best not to be an enemy of someone with great fortune. Jiang Junxian said, In the Battle of the Dark Forest, she killed hundreds of monarch ranks all by herself. With this ability and courage, I am afraid that when she grows up in the future, she will not be an ordinary person. Moreover, she is an array master and alchemist. If I am not wrong, she is also a beast tamer and seeker spirit master. Chapter 822. What did you say? How is this possible? How can a kid in his 30s have so many identities? Everyone in the main hall was in an uproar. How could there be such a powerful person in this world? This was too unbelievable. Are you sure? Shi Qianji asked. She has a lot of spirit beasts with her, and their bloodlines and ranks are all pretty good. Jiang Junxian said, If he's not a beast tamer, then he must be a disciple of a super powerful force. What about seeker spirit masters? How did you know? Her feng shui judgment is extremely good. She could see the feng shui of the mausoleum at a glance. If she wasn't a spirit seeker or a ray master, she wouldn't be so familiar with feng shui. Jiang Junxian said, In that case, she may indeed be a beast tamer and a seeker spirit master. The Black Dragon Palace master said, I feel that the possibility of this is extremely high. Jiang Junxian did not dare to speak with certainty. It seems that this person deserves our attention, someone said. Your little junior brother is so powerful. Shi Qianji asked in astonishment. That's not all. When Jiang Junxian mentioned Sima Yuyue, his tone was still filled with pride. What do you mean? Junxian, tell me everything about your little junior brother. The Black Dragon Palace Master said, This seat wants to know everything in detail. Yes, Hall Master. Jiang Junxian said, Speaking of which, although my junior brother is young, his experience is quite rich. She came from the lower continent, but her strength is much higher than ordinary people, and she is also very popular. What's wrong? She came up from the lower continent. Don't interrupt. Listen to Junxian. Sure, Qianji was extremely curious about Sima Yue and scolded those people impatiently. Junxian continued. How did she become popular? Jiang Junxian nodded and continued. Everyone knows the position of Xian Yuan Pavilion in the continent, but I heard last time that they all respect her. Her position is even higher than those young masters and young ladies. She had a good relationship with the Qin, Feng, and Tuoba families in the central region. Other than Su Jin, Feng Zhixing of the Feng family was also her master. She is also Old Man Devil's disciple, one of the junior valley master of the Divine Devil Valley. Jiang Junxian paused for a moment. Everyone was shocked as they listened to him speak. If she had grown up on this continent and was born with a prominent identity and status, they wouldn't be surprised that she had such connections. However, she was a person from a low-level continent. This was simply impossible, and looking at Jiang Junxian's appearance, it seemed that he hadn't finished speaking. Could it be that she had some other shocking identity? Jiang Junxian looked at everyone's expressions and was very satisfied with their reactions. He cleared his throat and continued. In addition to what I said above, he went to the Nine-Star Ocean last time and became the prince of the Violet Water Dragon clan after he came back. Although the Violet Water tribe was in the periphery, their strength was not to be underestimated. Their rejection of humans is also well known. That's right. Although many of them have come to the mainland these years, it's still not easy for them to recognize a human, let alone recognize a human as a child of the royal family. Someone said, in addition to this, he has an even more shocking identity. Jiang Junxian kept them in suspense and didn't say it directly. Another identity? Master Right Emissary, just say it. Don't spoil our appetite. That's right. Master Right Emissary, quickly say it. Junxian, just say it. Shi Qianji urged. Junxian, say it. Black Dragon Palace Master said. Yes, Palace Master. Jiang Junxian bowed to him and continued. In addition to the above, he has a contracted beast, Little Rock. It is a four-winged rock that evolved into a golden-winged rock. Ever since the divine vermilion bird disappeared, the golden-winged rock became the king of birds. So, he is still the contracted master of the king of birds. What? Everyone in the main hall cried out. Actually, this matter has already spread throughout the outer and middle regions. It's just that we have been active in the inner regions for the past few years and don't know much about the outer regions. That's why we don't know about this news. The contracted master of the king of birds, not to mention the previous identities, just this alone is comparable to a large power. Shi Qianji said, Master, if possible, it's best if we don't have bad relations with this person. But those people know that Master Right Emissary found the divine sword. If we don't get rid of him, I'm afraid this news will leak out quickly. At that time, it will attract unnecessary trouble. Someone said, but even if we send people now, it might not be useful. Shi Qianji said, it's been so long. I think they have already told this news to the heavenly sect. Master Right Emissary, why didn't you kill them at that time? A hostage asked. Divine Emissary Mu, don't tell me you still don't understand what I just said? Jiang Junxian said, Sima Yoyue's strength is originally different. Although I poisoned them, the little realm is already connected to her. If I really wanted to kill her, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to come out. Who knows if you didn't kill her on purpose? Divine Emissary Mu snorted. So, Divine Emissary Mu doesn't want to write down what Junxian said just now. Since it's like this, why don't you go and try? Who knows, with Divine Emissary Mu's strength, you might be able to snatch the eye of the earth. Jiang Junxian said, she's just a little kid with a little ability, and you're so afraid. If this gets out, you'll really embarrass my Black Dragon cult. Divine Emissary Mu reprimanded. It's indeed a little ability. I believe that with Divine Emissary Mu's strength, you'll definitely be stronger than her. Shi Qianji said, Master, since it's like this, why don't we let Divine Emissary Mu find the eye of the earth? The palace master was silent and didn't say anything. Master, didn't Junxian just say that the eye of the earth turned into a child and followed Sima Yue? Shi Qianji said with a smile. Since it's like this, let him go find the eye of the earth. He should be able to fight with Sima Yue. When the time comes, he'll naturally know whether Junxian was lying or not. Palace Master, I also want to meet that kid and bring the eye of the earth back. Please allow me. Divine Emissary Mu said. The Black Dragon Palace Master didn't speak since just now, watching them argue below. Master, the Black Dragon Palace Master raised his hand to stop Shi Qianji from speaking. This matter needs to be discussed at length. We can't just make a decision because of a moment of anger. Palace Master, the right emissary has already found out the specific information about the Eye of the Earth. Are we going to give up? How can we give up such a treasure like the Eye of the Earth? As long as we get her, with the help of the Divine Sword, our Black Dragon will definitely be able to dominate the inner regions. However, this matter needs to be discussed and weighed carefully. The Black Dragon Palace Master said. Chapter 823. Half a day later, everyone came out from the main hall and talked about the day's events in 2s and 3s. Jiang Junxian and Shi Qianji walked at the back. After so many years, you're finally back. If you didn't come back, I would have forgotten what you looked like. Shi Qianji said as he walked up the stone steps. It's only been a few decades. Jiang Junxian said disdainfully. It would be good if you really forgot about me. Then I wouldn't have to face your annoying face. Don't be so heartless. When you weren't around, I miss you a lot. Shi Qianji threw a punch. Don't make it sound so disgusting. Jiang Junxian grabbed his hand and threw it out. Sigh, you heartless brat. Shi Qianji steadied himself and looked at him with resentment. What is conscience? Can it be eaten? Jiang Junxian asked. I really can't. Shi Qianji sighed. You took so long to come back. Let's go for a drink. Not interested. I still have things to deal with. Jiang Junxian said. Is it about the Jiang family? Yes. We were careless about Kong Junshul and allowed the Jiang family to rescue him. If you didn't come back on your own this time, we would have let you come back. Shi Qianji said apologetically. This isn't your responsibility either. Jiang Junxian said, the Jiang family isn't an ordinary force. It's not surprising that they could find him. What do you plan to do next? Based on the Jiang family style of doing things, if they knew that I was replacing Kong Junshul, they would definitely go to the academy to look for me. They don't know that it was you who caught Kong Junshul, right? I don't know. Our people did not reveal any information. Shi Qianji said. Then they will definitely go to Tianfu City. You want to return to Tianfu City? Shi Qianji looked at him. I definitely want it now. If you go back, you'll be chased to the ends of the earth. Don't do anything stupid. I didn't say I was going back to Tianfu City. What are you making a fuss about? Jiang Junxian said indifferently. Aren't you going back to take revenge on Kong Junshul? Yes, but we don't have to go to Tianfu City. Then where are you going? The alchemy competition is about to begin. The Jiang clan will definitely bring him along. You're going to the alchemy competition? You want to participate? Shi Qianji looked at him in surprise. Let's talk about it later. Anyway, we have to go. Jiang Junxian said. How much longer? Less than 2 years. Very soon, I'll be in seclusion. Shi Qianji said. Yes, help me get a permit to enter the city. When the time comes, we will definitely participate. Shi Qianji said. When the time comes, you can just go with everyone. That works too. All right, Divine Envoy Mu will go to the outer regions tomorrow. When do you plan to depart? Jiang Jun Xian asked. We'll talk about it in 2 days. Didn't he think that he was very powerful? Let him touch a rock first. Then he will know that arrogance is not good. Shi Qianji was disgusted by Divine Envoy Mu. Not to mention his fat head and big ears. He had a crafty face and liked to target people who were more outstanding than him. Just looking at him made him nauseous. Although I've been in the academy all these years, I haven't fully grasped it. Their pool of water is very deep. Jiang Jun Xian said, You've an order to go and inspect Divine Envoy Mu's matters. You have to be careful there. It's best if you don't go head-to-head with them. Seeing how you talk so much once you talk about that place, you've developed feelings for that place. Shi Qianji saw him glaring at him and said, Don't deny it. Although you look fine, I know that you're still sad in your heart. Don't say it like you know everything. Shi Qianji went up and patted his shoulder. Damn duck, don't be so stubborn. We've known each other since you came here. Other than me, who else knows you so well? There's nothing shameful about being sad. If I had to betray Master and the others, I would be sad too. Jiang Jun Xian slapped his hand away. Shi Qianji didn't care and said, Let's go. Let's go have a few drinks. Just treat it as introducing me to the outer regions. It's my first time going to the outer regions. You can't let me go in the dark and not know anything, right? If that's the case, how am I going to deal with this matter, right? Let's go, let's go. Jiang Jun Xian was helplessly pulled away by him. He thought that it would be good to tell him about the outer regions. This guy was so lazy that he wouldn't understand the situation even if he went there. But when he saw the fruit wine that Shi Qianji took out, he fell silent. Jun Xian, this is the fruit wine that's been trending recently. Try it, then we'll drink other wines. Let me tell you, this was developed by Memory Restaurant. Usually they don't give takeout. It wasn't easy for me to get some. Shi Qianji said proudly. Jiang Jun Xian drank a mouthful of fruit wine and didn't say anything. Why, it doesn't taste good. I left it especially for you. Then wait, I'll go dig up the jars of wine buried in the courtyard. The aftertaste is strong. Shi Qianji saw him like this and thought that he thought the fruit wine wasn't strong enough. Jiang Jun Xian didn't answer him. Shi Qianji took it as a silent agreement and got up to dig up the wine buried in the ground. After Jiang Jun Xian drank a cup, he poured another cup for himself. When Shi Qianji came back, the jar of wine was almost finished by him. Seeing that his favorite fruit wine was gone, he immediately exploded. Wow, wow, wow. You sent me away and drank all the wine alone. I haven't had a sip today. Jiang Jun Xian waved his hand, and several cans of fruit wine appeared on the table. There are all kinds of flavors. I'll compensate you. Don't shout. Shi Qianji opened the wine jars and smelled each one. Finally, he looked at him in surprise. Didn't you say that this wine isn't for takeout? I spent a lot of effort to get one jar myself. How can you have so many? Did you work at Memory Restaurant when you were in the outer regions? Did you become a waiter? Jiang Jun Xian rolled his eyes at him. He really admired his imagination. This was brewed by Junior Brother. Miao Shuang and Xiao Xiao liked to drink it. He gave us dozens of jars each. When he mentioned them, his mood was a little low. Dozens of jars? Shi Qianji jumped up. Jun Xian, we've been good friends for so many years. Since you have so much, give me more. Shi Qianji put away these jars of fruit wine and put the hard wine that he just dug up. He said, Let's drink this today. While drinking, tell me about the outer regions. A day later, Shi Qianji looked at the drunk person lying on the table and said to himself, You must have drunk too much fruit wine. Your alcohol tolerance has become so bad. After listening to you, I'm very curious about your 3 senior and junior brothers. I wanted to go in a few days, but now I can't wait. You just lie here. I'll go to the outer regions first. By the way, I'll help you see if Kong Junshul really went there. After that, he took out the boundary-breaking talisman, opened a space tunnel, and left, leaving the drunk Jiang Jun Xian lying alone in the courtyard. Chapter 824. Tianfu City, the most prosperous Xuefu street. Yue walked out of the Xianyuan pavilion and walked 200 meters. She passed by a shop and saw the sign on the door. She hesitated for a moment before turning around and entering. "Sir, how can I help you? We have pills, formations, and—" A shop assistant walked over and asked with a smile. "Is your manager here?" Sima Yue asked. "I'm really sorry. Our shopkeeper is busy today and is not in the shop." The shop assistant said apologetically, "I have something to discuss with your shopkeeper." As she spoke, she took out an item. "But our shopkeeper—" The shop assistant subconsciously wanted to refuse, but when he saw the blood ring in her hand, he was stunned at first. He looked up at her, then took a step back and wanted to bow. Sima Yue grabbed his arm and looked at the other customers in the shop, saying, "Don't make it public." "Yes, Junior Valley Master." The shop assistant said, "Junior Valley Master, follow me inside." Sima Yue nodded and followed the staff to the back. "Where is the shopkeeper?" "Someone from the valley has come. The shopkeeper is meeting him at the back." The shop assistant replied. "Who came?" The clerk shook his head and said, "We're not sure either. Outsiders are not allowed to see him. But if the Junior Valley Master is looking for the shopkeeper, I can bring you there." "Can I?" "Of course." The shopkeeper said many times that the Junior Valley Master is in the Heavenly Sect, but we have never seen him. However, we didn't dare to disturb them. We could only wait for the Junior Valley Master to come. Now that he knows that the Junior Valley Master is here, he might be very happy. Sima Yue smiled. "Junior Valley Master, please follow me." The clerk led her out the back door, through an alley, and into the back courtyard. Mo Pingyuan was talking to Feng Dong in the house when he suddenly felt someone enter the yard. "What is it?" he asked from across the room. "Shopkeeper, the Junior Valley Master is here." A reply came from outside. Mo Pingyuan and Feng Dong stood up together. They looked at each other, opened the door, and walked out excitedly. "Greetings, Junior Valley Master." The two of them bowed. "Uncle Feng? Huh, I didn't expect the person from the valley to be you." Sima Yue saw Feng Dong and walked over happily. Feng Dong was also very happy. He smiled and said, "I also didn't expect to see the Junior Valley Master here." "Feng Dong, have you met the Junior Valley Master?" Mo Pingyuan asked when he saw how familiar they were. "Yes, when the Junior Valley Master was still in the lower continent, I was ordered by the Second Valley Lord to look for the Junior Valley Master. We even ate meat and drank wine together." Feng Dong replied. "Why didn't I hear you mention it?" Mo Pingyuan muttered. Then he ordered the shop assistant who brought you in, "Xiao Shi, go and tell everyone that we're not open for business today. Bring everyone in to greet the Junior Valley Master." "Okay." Xiao Shi ran out happily. "Junior Valley Master, I'm the shopkeeper here, Mo Pingyuan. Let's go inside. Xiao Shi will bring everyone in later." Mo Pingyuan said, "Junior Valley Master, please." Sima Yue nodded. She walked in and sat down at the main seat. Mo Pingyuan and Feng Dong sat on both sides of her. Xiao Shi brought 30 to 40 people in. Everyone bowed to her as soon as they entered. "Greetings, Junior Valley Master. Everyone please stand up." Sima Yue smiled and said. Everyone stood up and looked at Sima Yue excitedly. "Junior Valley Master, you are finally here. We all know that you are here, but we haven't seen you for so long." Someone said excitedly. "I've been studying in the school. There are always things happening. That is why I haven't come to find you." Sima Yue said, "It is not too late to see you now." "Hee, Junior Valley Master, I heard that you are very good at alchemy. When will you give us some pointers?" "Sure, but not this time. I have something to discuss with shopkeeper Mo," Sima Yue replied. Mo Pingyuan heard that Yue had something to discuss with him. He waved to everyone and said, "Since the Junior Valley Master is here and everyone has seen him, there will be a lot of opportunities for us to meet in the future. Everyone, please go back." Although everyone did not want to leave, Yue said that she had something to discuss with him. Everyone had no choice but to leave. "Junior Valley Master, we will not delay your matters today. However, if you have time, you must come and visit often." Sima Yue smiled and nodded. "And we will go out first." However, even though they said that, they only left the house. They were unwilling to leave the courtyard. "Junior Valley Master, do you have any orders? Mo Ping Yuan asked. It is like this. I originally wanted you to contact the inner region. Since Uncle Feng is here, I will ask him directly. Sima Yue said, Junior Valley Master, please ask whatever you want to ask. Feng Dong said, however, my position in the valley is not high. There are many things that I do not know. I'm not asking you about any secret matters. Sima Yue said, I just want to ask, has my senior brother sent any news back recently? Is it Master Wuling you? Feng Dong asked. Sima Yue nodded and said, yes, I have not been able to contact him recently. I am worried that something has happened to him. Master Wuling Yu is usually in the Sage Pavilion. There is rarely any news back. Even if there is, we do not know much about it. Feng Dong said, if Junior Valley Master wants to ask, I will go back and ask for more information. Send someone to check on eldest senior brother's situation. Master is not here. We can only trouble Master and the others. Sima Yue said, all right, Uncle Feng, when are you going back? I am in charge of supervising everywhere. I can go back after checking here. Feng Dong replied, if Junior Valley Master is in a hurry, you can send a message back and let the valley investigate first. Sima Yue thought for a while and asked Mo Ping Yuan, I will write a letter. Will Master and the others be able to see it? Yes. Then I will write a letter to Master and you can help me send it back. Remember to be quick. If there is any news, remember to inform me. Sima Yue finished and took out a pen and ink to write a letter. She packed it and handed it to Mo Ping Yuan. Mo Ping Yuan took the letter and said, I will ask someone to send it back. Sorry to trouble you. Sima Yue said, Junior Valley Master, do you have any other matters to contact the valley? Not at the moment. Sima Yue said, just inform me immediately if there is any news. Yes, Junior Valley Master. Mo Ping Yuan took Yue's letter and left. Junior Valley Master, when do you plan to return to the valley? Those guys all want to see your glory. Feng Dong said, in 2 years. I still have some things to settle here. I have not finished my studies in the academy. After I finish my studies, I will go to the valley to take a look. Sima Yue said, Uncle Feng, I see that you are worried. Did something happen in the valley? Chapter 825, Crazy Wife. 5th Miss Divine Doctor Chapter 825. Mother said, don't talk to strangers. Chapter 825. Mother said, don't talk to strangers. Chapter 825. Mother said, don't talk to strangers. The following is for you. Mother Zhang says, don't talk to strangers. Please enjoy. Feng Dong was silent for a while, then said, now, it's not just our valley that's in trouble. The entire central region is in turmoil. We're just in the eye of a storm. What's going on? Sima Yue frowned. The Divine Devil Valley was an existence that ordinary people didn't dare to provoke. But seeing Feng Dong like this, the Divine Devil Valley didn't seem to be in a good situation. It's all because of some powers, with the help and instigation of some powers in the inner regions. They kept on fighting in the central regions, annexing some small powers and provoking the big powers. It's causing unrest in the central regions. Feng Dong sighed. Junior Valley Master, do you still remember what happened in the Little Realm? I remember. Cloud Cave and Sage Pavilion joined hands to kill my Divine Devil Valley people. Sima Yue said. At that time, she already felt that something was wrong, and now something really happened. Now, Cloud Cave and Sage Pavilion people are constantly finding trouble with us. We're not soft eggs, so we naturally have to fight back. So now, we're like fire and water. Feng Dong said, other than that, other powers are also involved, so sigh. It seems that some powers in the inner regions and central regions are starting to be dissatisfied with the current situation. Sima Yue sighed. Actually, this problem didn't just start now. The destruction of the Shiman family should be a part of it. Junior Valley Master, if you want to return to the valley, it's best to go through the teleportation arrays. Don't go outside alone. Feng Dong reminded her. I know. Thank you, Uncle Feng, for reminding me. Sima Yue said. After a while, Mo Ping Yuan came back, saying that he had already sent the letter back. Yue chatted with him for a while more before leaving. She lowered her head and walked thinking about the news she just heard, so she didn't pay attention to the situation in front. Suddenly, she felt someone blocking her way. She subconsciously moved to the right, but that person also moved to the right. She moved to the left, but that person moved to the left. In short, he was blocking her way. She looked up and saw Kong Junshul's arrogant face. She just couldn't understand. It was said that the twins were very similar in character. Although Jiang Junxian betrayed them, at least he usually looked good. But this guy's face was full of arrogance and disdain, as if everyone was an ant in his eyes. A good dog doesn't block the way. Get out of the way. Although she was angry at Jiang Junxian, she didn't have a good impression of Kong Junshul. She walked to the right, trying to get around him to get home. Kong Junshul blocked her way and asked, "Where is Jiang Junxian? If you don't know, how would I know where he is?" Sima Yue glared at him coldly. "How could you not know? I heard that you have a good relationship with him. Since he ran away, you must know where he is." Kong Junshul said confidently, "Don't think that you can hide him. When I find him, I'll teach you a lesson." "You're crazy." Sima Yue walked around him and punched him in the face when she saw that he was about to come over. "Ah!" Kong Junshul covered his eye and took a few steps back. When he put down his hand, the onlookers all laughed. Although she controlled her strength, she still punched his left eye until it became a panda eye. "I don't know where Jiang Junxian is. If you dare to pester me about this in the future, my fist's temper won't be good." Sima Yue rubbed her fist. "Your Jiang family should be very powerful. If that's the case, then go and find out yourself. Don't talk nonsense in front of my senior brothers and sisters." After she finished speaking, she waved her fist at him and walked around him. Kong Junshul was hit on the street, and the anger in his heart rushed to his head. Without thinking, he attacked Sima Yue with his spiritual energy. Sima Yue narrowed her eyes and used her spiritual energy to protect herself. Bang! A wave of spiritual energy came from upstairs and scattered Kong Junshul's spiritual energy. Sima Yue raised her head and took a look. A man in a tea house at the side held a teacup in his hand and toasted her. Sima Yue nodded at him and didn't say any more words of thanks. She looked at Kong Junshul and said, "Kong Junshul, do you want to taste my flames?" Kong Junshul then remembered Sima Yue's terrifying flames, and his impulse was extinguished. Sima Yue looked at him and turned to leave. This time he didn't stop her. "Young master." Jiang Cheng came from the street and brushed past Sima Yue. The two of them looked at each other, and Jiang Cheng's gaze was filled with killing intent. However, he wasn't an impulsive person like Kong Junshul. Although he wasn't happy with her and wanted to kill her, he definitely wouldn't do it in Tianfu City or in public. "Young master, are you all right?" He arrived in front of Jiang Junjia. Seeing his panda eyes, the hostility in his eyes intensified. "Uncle Changshi." Kong Junshul pointed at Sima Yue's back and said angrily, "Young master, we can't touch her now." Jiang Cheng said, "Why?" Mao Sanquan said clearly that we can't touch their students. This place is still within the school's boundaries. Once we leave here, we'll have a chance to kill her. Jiang Cheng comforted. "But if she stays here, we won't have a chance to kill her." Kong Junshul was unwilling. "Young master, don't worry. She's going to participate in the alchemy competition." Jiang Cheng said, "As long as she goes, we'll make sure she doesn't come back alive." "How can she participate in the alchemy competition?" Mao Sanquan said so. He wouldn't lie. Jiang Cheng said, "All right, young master, let's go back." "Oomph. If she dares to participate in the alchemy competition, I'll make sure she loses miserably." "Young master, let's go back. There's still some time before the alchemy competition. You can practice well." Then Jiang Junxian, Mao Sanquan, and the rest really don't know where he went. But with our abilities, we'll definitely be able to find him. "Oomph. Then let him live for 2 more days." At the corner of the street, Sima Yue stood under a big banyan tree. Hearing the words from the scarlet bees, she smiled faintly. "Want to kill her? Do they have the ability to?" "They want to kill you. Aren't you worried?" A man poked his head out from behind the big tree. Sima Yue knew when he came. She turned her head to look at the person who suddenly appeared and said, "You followed me just to say that they want to kill me? I saved you just now, but you didn't thank me. I'm Sure Qianji, what's your name?" Sure Qianji said. "Thank you," Sima Yue said and continued to walk forward. Such a cold person. Where's the passion that he said? Sure Qianji saw that she left just like that and muttered to himself as he chased after her. "Hey, you still haven't told me your name." Sima Yue stopped in her tracks and said, "Didn't your mother teach you something?" "What?" "Don't talk to strangers." Sima Yue glanced at him and said, "Actively cooperate with the campaign to combat obscene and pornographic information on the internet." Thank you, everyone. Read, please remember our address. Download, please go to chapter 825. Mother said, don't talk to strangers. Chapter 826. Don't talk to strangers? What the hell was this? Also, your eyes are too bright, and your smile is too flashy. You don't look like a good person. Sima Yue continued. You don't look like a good person. I'm not a good person. Sure Qianji, he blinked his eyes. Although he wasn't a good person, he still looked graceful and elegant. He didn't look like a bad person at all. Also, his smile was clearly earth-shattering. How was it the showy guy she was talking about? He still wanted to say something, but Sima Yue had already left and ignored him. He stood in the same spot and looked at her back with interest. Lord Divine Envoy. A man in black appeared behind him. How is it? Sure Qianji squinted his eyes, and his body emitted an evil aura. Sure enough, that courteous demeanor just now was just an act. I found out where they live, the man replied. Since we found out, let's teach them a lesson. Sure Qianji said, seriously, that guy Jun Xian insisted on taking revenge with his own hands. Every time I see that guy, I hate him so much that my teeth itch, but I can't kill him. This feeling is really awesome. Divine Envoy, Kong Junshul, and Right Emissary are twin brothers. Are we really going to be ruthless? That person asked. Twin brothers? Sure Qianji snorted coldly. The Jiang clan has already given up on Jun Xian. He is no longer a member of the Jiang clan. If Kong Junshul's life wasn't saved by Jun Xian, and if the blood in his body wasn't Jun Xian's, he would have died thousands of times already. How could he still be here? His blood belongs to the Right Emissary? Yes. That year, the Jiang family took his brother out. On the way, Kong Junshul's arrogant attitude provoked a poison doctor. He was poisoned by the doctor. The doctor said that no one could cure him, and he could only survive by swapping his blood with his close relatives. Sure Qianji said faintly. Jun Xian's mother immediately thought of Jun Xian. She wanted him to change his brother's blood so that he could leave the hope of survival to his brother. Why would Right Emissary's mother do this? Both of them are her children. Are they both her children? Sure Qianji shook his head and said with a sigh, Jun Xian doesn't like to flatter others and doesn't like to show off his strength. His brother, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. He likes to show off everything. At that time, everyone in the Jiang family thought that Kong Junshul was stronger than Jun Xian, and that his talent was also better than his. When something happened, they naturally wanted to sacrifice him to protect the Jiang family's talent. But the Right Emissary is clearly stronger than Kong Junshul. That's right. Jun Xian spends most of his time cultivating. His talent is also better than Kong Junshul's. How could he be worse than him? It's just that he doesn't show off, so no one knows. Sure, Qianji sighed. At that time, when Jun Xian heard his mother's request, it was as if he had been struck by lightning. He didn't even dare to believe that his mother would say such words. But even if he couldn't believe it, he couldn't beat the cruelty of reality. Later, when his mother suggested it, the others also thought the same. They felt that it was worth it to exchange his life for his brother's. They can keep their geniuses. Lord Right Emissary exchanged with him? He did. Seeing how cold his clansmen were, he was so heartbroken that he didn't even want to tell them that he was stronger than his brother. Although he was unwilling, he couldn't resist the oppression of his clansmen. They held him in place and forcefully exchanged their blood. Shi Qianji was incomparably angry when he thought of what happened to his friend at that time. Then what happened to Lord Divine Emissary? After the blood exchange, the Jiang family's doctor said that he would die without a doubt. So after seeing his hateful gaze, they actually threw him into the snow. If it wasn't for his father's compassion, saying that he wouldn't live for more than a few days and that they should let him fend for himself, they would have directly killed him. In such a cold day, he couldn't even use his spiritual power to resist. He just lay in the snow for 3 days. At that time, he was only 20 years old, but his heart instantly aged. The Jiang family is really hateful. Then how did Lord Right Emissary survive? Later, the person who poisoned him passed by and saw that he was still alive. When he realized that he wasn't the one who poisoned him, he felt that it was fun and brought him back for treatment. In the end, although his life was saved, he lost his previous strength and even developed the problem of being addicted to sleep. Fortunately, he found a cultivation method that was compatible with his problem. It could increase his strength in his sleep, and that's how he gained his current strength. Then the person who poisoned him was Lord Divine Emissary, right? That person guessed, Lord Divine Emissary. The Jiang family is so hateful. Let's just directly kill them all. You can kill the others, but Kong Junshul stays. Jun Xian said that he would personally deal with him. Shi Qianji said, yes, Lord Divine Emissary. Go. That person suddenly disappeared, and Shi Qianji also left the big banyan tree. After taking 2 steps, he turned around to look at a certain spot on the tree, and the corners of his mouth hooked up into a smile. Jun Xian, you have to properly thank me in the future. After he left, a scarlet bee flew out of the big banyan tree, flew over 2 streets, and arrived in Yu Yue's hand. I didn't think that eldest senior's addiction to sleep wasn't just a hobby, but a side effect of being poisoned. She sighed, kept the scarlet bee, and continued to walk forward. She left the scarlet bee behind because she wanted to see the identity and motive of the person who saved her. She didn't think that she would hear such a conversation. She thought that Shi Qianji had long discovered the scarlet bee and purposely said that just now to let her know about the grudge between Kong Junshul and Elda Sr. Although his experience made people sigh, this was not a reason for him to bring the devil's sword out. At most, she was not so angry about the matter of him drugging her. Sigh, she should go back and tell Senior and the others about this. Their mood would probably be better. When she returned home, Sima Lai and the others had already packed up. Grandfather, Aunt Lan, Aunt Yu, are you really going in? Sima Yu asked. Going there means that you won't be able to come out often, but it's better for your cultivation. Aunt Lan said, Hanger has been delayed all these years. If he can cultivate inside, it'll be even better for him. That's good. Have you packed your things? We packed long ago. Sima Lai said, you will have to personally manage Memory Restaurant in the future. We don't need to worry about Memory Restaurant. Then I will bring you in now. Okay. Sima Yue brought them into the Spirit Pagoda. Seeing the familiar scene, she even felt a little nostalgic. Actually, there were quite a few people here. There were more than 10 elders of the White Egret clan, as well as Little Roar and the others. It was actually very lively. You could go find your own rooms. Okay. Sima Lai and the others chose the rooms they used to live in. Sima Yue was about to go out when Little Spirit suddenly appeared in front of her, looking at her eagerly. Chapter 827. Sima Yue looked at his sparkling eyes and reached out to cover them, saying, Don't have any ideas about me. I can't give you that little realm. You already know what I'm thinking. Do you still have the heart to reject me? Little Spirit pulled down her hand and shook it in a fawning manner. That's what the Azure Great Emperor left for Yu. Don't even think about it. Sima Yue refused. But if I can merge with it, I'll be even more powerful. Xiao Ling said. That won't do. Sima Yue said, That's a serene graveyard. But all right, let's not talk about this anymore. Sima Yue refused. Besides, I still need it. Use it? What's the use of it? Little Spirit poked his little finger and said unhappily, It's not suitable for everyone to know about your existence. If you want to establish a force in the future, it's better for it to be exposed than for you to be. And I guess some people already know of its existence. If eldest senior apprentice brother returns to report the news, he will naturally mention this little realm. Sigh, I can't eat the fatty meat that's flying in front of my eyes. How pitiful. Sigh, I'm so sad. I'm going to eat some pills to recover my wounded heart. Little Spirit lamented sadly. When Sima Yue saw him flying away, she smiled and left in a flash. This courtyard wasn't very big to begin with, and they had always been the only ones living here. Now that they had left, the entire courtyard was empty. She hadn't lived here for a long time, so she didn't feel much reluctance. After walking around and setting up a formation to protect the courtyard, she returned to the academy. Little junior brother, you're back. Han Miao Shuang was lying in the courtyard basking in the sun. When she saw Sima Yue enter, she greeted him. Su Xiao was still sweeping the yard. Sima Yue frowned. She remembered that when she left, Xiao was already sweeping. Why was he still sweeping after a day? Senior brother, if you keep sweeping, you're going to sweep through the entire courtyard. She walked over and took the broom from his hand. Seeing his listless appearance, she sighed. Jiang Junxian's betrayal was a huge blow to them. Although so many days had passed, they still couldn't pull themselves together. Senior sister, do you know which sects have right emissaries and divine emissaries? Sima Yue asked. I know, many sects have them. It was just like how many sects had their own saints. Why are you asking about this? Han Miao Shuang asked back. Then do you know Shi Qianji? Han Miao Shuang immediately sat up from the recliner and took off the handkerchief covering her face, saying, Who are you talking about? Shi Qianji? Yes. Sima Yue nodded. Do you know him? How do you know that bad guy Shi Qianji? Han Miao Shuang asked. Senior sister, you know him? Of course I do. Many people know him. Han Miao Shuang said, He's famous for being vicious and merciless in the inner regions. He learned some poison from that poison divine envoy and killed many people. How do you know about him? I met him today. Sima Yue said. What? You met him? Han Miao Shuang cried out. That bastard came here? He didn't do anything to you, right? He did. Sima Yue said. Damn, he poisoned you? Han Miao Shuang immediately jumped up and pulled Sima Yue over to take a look. How are you? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? Sima Yue saw her anxious look. Fortunately, she wasn't discouraged by everything. I don't feel uncomfortable anywhere. Sima Yue said, That guy didn't poison me. Then what did he do to you? Su Xiao asked. He saved me. Saved you? Han Miao Shuang's eyes widened. Did I hear wrongly? He saved you? What exactly happened? Sima Yue told them about how she met Kong Junshul on the street and what he said. Han Miao Shuang listened to her and went silent. After a while, she sighed and said, So that's what happened that year. I think Shi Qianji purposely let us know about eldest senior brother. And from what he said, he seems to have a good relationship with eldest senior brother. Sima Yue said, I didn't expect Jiang Junxian to be from the Black Dragon sect. He's even their right emissary. Han Miao Shuang sat back and said, What sect is this Black Dragon sect? A famous assassin organization in the inner regions. Su Xiao said they're very strong. Especially when it comes to assassinations, they rarely fail. Many sects will look for them to get rid of their opponents. They only recognize money and not people. Then their ability to hide their aura is very strong. Sima Yue thought about how he appeared behind the big banyan tree silently. She thought that he was much stronger than her, but now she knew that it was because he hid his aura. This Black Dragon sect got the Sky Splitter Devil Sword. This is no small matter. We have to tell the sect. Han Miao Shuang said, I'm going to find Instructor Mao. Are you guys coming? Senior brother and senior sister can go together. I'm going to refine the Little Black Lotus Realm. Sima Yue said, Little Black Lotus Realm? Is it the name you gave to the realm? Han Miao Shuang said, Then you can stay in Parting Garden. Xiao, come with me. Su Xiao nodded, and the two of them went out together. Sima Yue returned to her own house. Before she entered, she looked up at the building next door. She didn't know how Su Jin was doing now. Jiang Junxian wasn't there either. No wonder Han Miao Shuang didn't want to go upstairs. She pushed open her door and walked in. She took out the little door and observed it carefully in her palm. That black lotus was exactly the same as the black lotus pattern on her back. Below the 9th underworld mountain, Black Lotus UU. She touched the lifelike lotus and thought of the love that made people sigh. She didn't know what her mother's identity was. She actually had such a legendary bloodline. She casually set up an array in the house, then held the little door in her palm. She sat cross-legged and began to refine the little realm. At first, she thought that the little realm wasn't big and wouldn't take much time. But after refining for 5 days, she felt that she hadn't even touched the boundary. This little realm was like a bottomless abyss that swallowed all her mental energy. She opened her eyes. Her mental energy was almost depleted. She could only rest for now. She looked at the little realm. With a thought, she had already entered the little realm that was left behind. In the past, the little realm could only show a few kilometers around the courtyard. This time, those foggy areas were revealed. The boundary had retreated by hundreds of thousands of kilometers. The range of this little realm is really big. It's comparable to those big little realms. Sima Yue walked one round and commented, "It's a pity that the flow of time here is the same as outside. It's not as powerful as Little Spirit, but still not bad." You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.